Oh, absolutely. I cannot wait to get into this. Again, we've been building up all season long, and now it's finally getting down to the wire. So anyway, we have been building up all to this here. We're getting down to the wire, and again, there's $300 on the line, and if you win that money, then you get to qualify to go ahead and earn even more money by playing forward and then making it to regionals. So again, this is where the gameplay is going to get more down to the nitty-gritty, right? This is where we're going to see pure top form, peak performances coming from every team and every player involved.
I think that's Yadkin. Yadkin Early College
Yadkin.
versus J Reynolds. By the way, that's our first match. So one of those bottom four teams is going up against West Forsyth, which, woo, they were cooking in the bracket. They were stampeding teams, obliterating them. So I don't know. Is it a reward to go to the finals to play them or a punishment? That's what we got to find out today. So, like I said, folks, Yadkin Early College, J Reynolds. That's your first match of this broadcast to see who moves on in this Foothills Conference to the top four at the very least. I say we get things started, Captain Ahsoka. I say we see what these North Carolina high school students have in store for us. They made it all the way to the playoff bracket for their conference in the Foothills. How far can they go? And more importantly, can Yadkin's Early College pull off this upset against against J Reynolds? I mean, we got the 2 and the 7 seed, Cap. Are you kind of an underdog hero, or are you rooting for the favorite here?
I mean, I don't root for anybody, you know, I'm kind of indifferent. That's our job as casters. We're not here to pick sides, we're here to analyze. But if I were to make a prediction, I mean, I got to give it up to the 2nd seed. I mean, they definitely earned that spot. They're the reason they're the 2nd seed is because they have the talent and the wherewithal to back it up. And that's not to say that the 7th seed does not stand a chance. They most definitely do. And we have noticed this in esports, particularly here at VESL, that some teams just perform better in the postseason. Some teams perform better under pressure. And for all we know, those teams can show themselves here today. I've already seen it. I've seen it happen throughout this entire spring semester. All of these different collegiate leagues, all of these different teams and players, I have seen upsets happen in the postseason in brackets like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happens here today, but I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to side with the number 2 seed. I think they have earned their spot for a reason. I think they're going to show us here today.
All right, number 2 seed, Cap thinks you got what it takes. So let's see, J Reynolds, can you pull it all the way? We got one map and one map only for this quarterfinals. It's best of 1, and that map is Bind. So I say we get things cooking. I say we get off to the desert, off to the races, and see which team can get past the other. It's been a lot of stampeding efforts, as I mentioned, Cap. A lot of 13-0s, 13-1s. I'm hoping we get a closer match in this one, Cap, but I don't know what to expect.
Now you see, this is interesting because again, I'm trying to think whether I don't think the recent update has gone through yet, but if it has, then it's a shot to my heart, and it's only Riot to blame, because Viper and Cypher are getting nerfs, and that hurts my feelings. That hurts me so much, because I love Vipers so much, and they are getting nerfed. They're going to be limited to one snake bite now, so they only get one molly, and then their walls and orb are going to require more fuel in order to use them. And now the orb itself can only be deployed once, so you can't pick it up and then redeploy it as you used to. Now once you throw it down, that's it. That's the end all be all. You cannot replant it. So, you know, kind of hurts my heart a little bit to see the Viper nerf, but it's okay, because I'm pretty sure, you know, every player in Valorant has experienced this pain when, you know, your main, your favorite, is the victim of a nerf. Shout out to the chamber mains of old. Oh, that was probably one of the most hurtful nerfs. And then also shout out to the Jets out there as well. But honestly, you know, I think Jet needed it.
Okay. I mean, I feel like Jet can get every nerf in the world and will still be used every single map that we see. Yeah, Viper did get those changes that are to come. It went from the 20 to the 30% on the wall and the orb, but I don't think they're implemented for this match. So we'll get to see the Viper Masterclass potentially on Yadkin Early College. They're hovering a Viper right now. Digital Phoenix holding on to that potential, and we will indeed get a double controller composition on Bind. And you already noticed this, folks. It's a 5v4. We've seen this in a few different high school matches. Some teams cannot field their entire team, but they work forward with what they have. I feel like it might be a good thing, Cap, that they're on defense, because having to attack against two controllers when you just have 4 people is really difficult. Then again, defending a site against 2 controllers is going to be a pain as well.
And you know what? Because they're running at the 4v5 right now, I kind of like the composition that we're seeing from J Reynolds. They haven't brought any initiators, so they're not going to have the stuns or the entry. However, they did bring Phoenix. And for those familiar with Phoenix, can argue that Phoenix is somewhat of a pseudo duelist that can also act as the initiator, can also act as entry, because they do have the corner blinds and they have the firewall, and they also bring mollies as well. Jet, on the other hand, again, no mollies. They do bring smokes and they have a mad dash, but that doesn't really do much for the rest of your team. Whereas Phoenix, you know, they bring that aspect of being able to duelist as well as the entry. So I like the composition from J Reynolds. I like the thinking that if you do have to play down, then you're going to have to go with somewhat of a pseudo agent, so that way you could fill the gap that was pretty much inevitable whenever you are playing at a deficit. So again, I like the composition. Now the question is, are they going to be able to make it work in practice? Meanwhile, you're looking on the other side for Yadkin Early College, and you know, they're bringing a deadlock, which is interesting. They're going with the deadlock pick here in lieu of the Cypher, and the Cypher has been meta here on Bind for the longevity of this season. So seeing the deadlock here is a little surprising. Let's see if it works for them.
I love that wall that Deadlock can use. It has so much range, so especially on defense, I'm looking forward to it. Can be utilized really well on attack as well. After you take the site, you can deny an early post plant from your opposition by utilizing that wall. G Money, they want to get to the post plant. They want to get into sight, throwing gunfire across the way towards Lamp, but cannot get their shots to go. J Reynolds started at an agent deficit, but already kicking it off with some good kills, but we're tied at 3-3. There's Yadkin, stuck in shower. Do they evade? They have a minute's worth of time on the clock here, Cap. They could move to B.
Yeah, they could if they so choose, but I mean, you're also looking at the health for all of these players, and you know, it is dwindling. I mean, finally you do see another elimination there onto the Cypher from Taken, and look at this Astra and the deadlock from Yadkin. They are both damaged, and now Taken will be taken. I mean, they are eliminated, and now you have yourself a 1v1 in the pistol. This guy literally one shot. Chi has to grab the spike, and they will be eliminated. J Reynolds, even with the player deficit, they take the pistol round.
I mean, their names, but there was no hesitation on those kills. 1, 2, 3. Punching the numbers up here for J Reynolds, and it is determination. It is commitment to put back this Yadkin early college squad, no matter what it takes. And already you can see them come to fruition here. We got some good buys on the side of RJ Reynolds, but take a look at Yadkin, Cap. Oh, okay, they're sticking with the secondaries. I saw a couple submachine guns picked there for a second.
Yeah, you know, and again, that's not the worst strategy here. I mean, you're going to want to try and buy next. I mean, however, I will say this Marshall pick on the Phoenix, that one I'm not quite comprehending there. And for that particular reason, also good use of the net nade in order to kind of trap that Phoenix into lamps there by the deadlock. I'm glad that the changes to the net nade have come in handy, because that was one of my biggest pet peeves when deadlock was first introduced, is that the net nades just were not very good. But now it seems as though they are in fact hitting. Speaking of, Snow Bangle able to find one with the Marshall, and then Gamer Guy able to find another thanks to the elimination feed. And just like this, RJ Reynolds able to pop off here in the post plant to secure their second round win.
Yadkin, you've got two controllers. You have to smoke off top site. Jet with the Marshall, that was just free range. I've seen people have less likely foes or targets when they're at the shooting range. That was absurd. We talked about choosing that Marshall not being the best decision. The net nade really stopped them in their tracks, like you said, Cap. But for Snowbangle, that is too easy. And if Yadkin want to continue to hit A site, which it appears isn't the motive, they're transitioning to B here, they're gonna have to smoke off these key choke points.
And it looks like they're sticking with the Marshall again, unless that may have been the Outlaw. But regardless, I mean, you put any sniper in the hands of a Jet, and it's going to be dangerous. As you can see, they are going to get the information now that the push is going towards Hookah. And it looks like it's going to be an even slower push back over towards B main. But I think they are going to come together and try and rotate back around Pyro. And I think that's the right call, because there's already been some early damage done to the Sky. And even though Sky can heal others, they cannot heal themselves.
Rotations are a good move, especially because for Yadkin, they already have an agent advantage. If they can pull more agents away, they'll definitely get something to go for them. However, G-Money did see that hot hands push. It doesn't matter. Turns around with the Vandal, does get that kill. Trying to peek in for another, gets the wallbang, gets the final one on the Fatty Boomba. One more left in Lamp, but is taking care of just about everybody. Simply the Viper on the other site. Digital Phoenix, a lot to do here, but no time to defuse. Ult in progress. It's already half. It's done. Digital Phoenix. Oh, what a snipe. That was insane. Digital Phoenix for one headshot. Not the round, but maybe the craziest kill we'll see today.
I mean, all of these players bringing out the Marshall and just deciding, you know, we're going to get some highlights today. You know, we're going to get some real clips and just popping off these impressive shots. And then honestly, when it comes to like the scoped weapons, Viper is not the agent that comes to mind when you're pairing with these scoped weapons. And yet they were able to get, you know, a quick scope as good as any. So again, that was just phenomenal to see. But I mean, RJ Reynolds, they're going up 3-0 with the player deficit. They secured the bonus round. That is huge here in the first half of Play on Bind.
It's massive, and part of it is thanks to this player here, who's gonna pop their ult based on all their success they had. You might as well use that ult. Try and catch him off guard. 2 flash, 1 down. More to take down with the gunfire that they see, but all of them are peeking. And with that triple peek, will take a back seat, but when you've getting these early frags, it assists Yadkin RJ Reynolds so much.
Yeah, and I think now is about that time, if it hadn't come already, that you really got to put respect on this RJ Reynolds team. Even though that you are playing up, you know, you get that little extra bit of confidence because you have the player advantage. But at the end of the day, you have still got to put respect on RJ Reynolds. They are still hitting those shots, and it will be the Phoenix from RJ Reynolds to come away with a 4K. And good use with their ult too. Notice that they popped to run it back like in the very beginning of that matchup, made the most of it, and then still were able to secure 4 other eliminations, giving them 3 more ultimate points towards their next ult. So they're already halfway of being able to pop to run it back one more again.
Yeah, that ultimate usage, especially cycling through it so many times, can be so useful. Right now, A is the look with the full buy of Yadkin. They maybe have their best chance of hitting this site and getting that bomb down with some agents to spare. Chi-Chi Chomper holding out the Guardian. Flash is out and gonna move right directly on it. However, Gamer Guy evaded it all too easily. And without anybody else pushing, it's just a victim gone down for nothing. Launching smoke.
Yep, and again, you could see Yadkin really struggling just to get the spike down here, although they do pick up a big elimination. But now, being able to shoot through the smoke and find one there, Gamer Guy able to even the odds here, making it 2v2. As now you can see the Empress has been popped from G Money. They are trying to make their way into Lamps. Gonna throw out the Leer, but they're not gonna follow it. Interesting choice as they manage to get at least one wall bang through the boxes, and now they have spike. Here comes the play. They throw out the audio cue. As you can see, Lunar Agent trying to make their way around, but it will be G Money with the use of the Empress to find a 4K and secure the first win for Yadkin.
I love that fake out with the Leer. Say, I'm coming in the lamp, psych, through the wall, down with the jet, and finish it out. Yadkin hoisting the flag by the hands of G Money. And now they've got ults on their side as well. Cosmic Divide, as well as the laser ultimate from Deadlock. They've got some venomous options in hand.
Now let's see what they're going to put to use here. Are they going to use those venomous options? That is the question. And when you're looking at the ultimates right now, they do have some good ultimates online. You got 3. As you can see now that the Cosmic Divide from Yadkin does go out. And honestly, I absolutely love this ultimate. The fact that it is able to cover so much terrain, so much area, just makes great entry. And then also it is really good in the post plant. It's very interesting to see that they used it so early here before getting the plant down. As Snowbangle with the operator able to find one already, and before they could plant it, the Cosmic Divide drops in front of them, leaving them completely exposed. That's going to be another round win for J Reynolds.
Out with the pants down there, and it was after the Deadlock ultimate missed as well, so nothing working out there for Yadkin Early College. I'll tell you what, execution has been my greatest criticism for this team. There they did execute though. There was the Cosmic Divide. There was that ult. I want that kind of intentionality with your controllers every round. More and more we're seeing Heaven not smoked off. We're seeing these easy angles for Reynolds to pick off Yadkin, not closed off by walls or smokes. Utilize the utility that you have and don't become victims of the first blood. Snowbangle gets that first one and half damage on the other. It's an operator that I don't think anybody from Yadkin want to push. However, Taken does get them down.
Yep, and that was actually a really clutch elimination there just to get the op out of the hands of the Jet there. So that is a really big pick. But now you got Lunar Agent going to be picking up the op instead, looking to get the shot off, but they don't pull the trigger in time. And that is going to cost them because now they have the line on that position until Lunar Agent able to get the click and get the elimination. And now it is 3v2 and the rotation is now underway from Yadkin.
You know what I love? You don't need the headshot on the operator, but why not, right? So first kill there from the Cypher on the op. Will they have more in store? They are pushing to Heaven to try and get a sightline on somebody, but that plant job is down. They do get Digital Phoenix. That leaves G Money as the last remaining. Now they've clutched this before. They can do it again. Spectre in hand, hitting Lamp. G Money able to pop the spike, so that sound cue's there. They've got to push on this. G Money, oh, is gonna be aimed down on the sights of Gamer Guy. Well done for Reynolds to push their lead.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta give it to G Money there for trying to stick it out and once again come in clutch. Even though, you know, last time they did have the Empress, so I'm pretty sure if they had Empress this time around, they would have been able to clutch it. But it's unfortunate. It feels bad. G Money just 1 away from getting that ultimate back. Meanwhile, you have all 4 ults at the ready on the side of J Reynolds, and I just can't wait to see how they use it because again, you know, they're already up 5 rounds here in the first half, and now they look to take another. As once again, Snowbangle going to be investing for the operator. No surprise there. They have a nice chunk of change, enough to retire on there for J Reynolds.
Speaking of Yadkin, they got to wake up their Astra, still sitting in spawn. And also, I really get scared when they push through A short. I'm glad they're leaning away from this because every time they walk into A short, they have never gotten into sight. It has been a very big weakness on the side of a Yadkin. So they will avoid it for now. Stomping up the short into hookah. Look at this, says Fatty. Nobody in the site to worry about. Get a free plant for it. That deadlock utility is set up for the post plant. And although they'll run into a couple tripwires, this is probably their best executed plant that we've seen so far from Yadkin.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree. And now with the extra utility, the sensors that have gone out from the deadlock, both at the entryway and on the spike, this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Viper to use that snake bite, but they have to stay alive in order to use it, but they will not. They get eliminated by Lunar Agent. And now Fatty Boomba is going to have to try and hold guard in here, but they're not going to be able to get the job done as both they and G Money will be eliminated. And now here comes the defuse, going to share the love with Phoenix to get their ultimate next, as that will be a flawless victory for RJ Reynolds.
I think part of this was a mistake from Yadkin. You get the plant down, you have all your agents, and you have your two utilities set up to delay the post plant. So why play those angles? At that point, the bomb is planted for garden, for hookah, yet you have 3 players sitting into elbow for what? Just to get decimated and just to leave your last 2 to be open season off the neural theft that you gave them. There's gotta be proper positioning after the plant, and that I feel like was a failure from Yadkin. Still some time left in this half though to regain some of your points.
Yep, let's see if they can get the job done here. Again, still a few rounds left to go in the first half as we are well and underway into round number 9. G Money already able to find their entry on towards the A site. Lunar in lamps, able to find Digital Phoenix and find that elimination on the Viper. Is now G Money right below top side here. It's gonna hear the drop, and they're just gonna absolutely turn on to the Phoenix. Big elimination, as you can see, is now a 3v2 favor in Yadkin, as they are gonna get half on the defuse, but Lunar Agent does get eliminated. Now only Snow Bangle remains.
Ultimate pop though from Snow Bangle could do some damage here. No! One knife finds the body of the Azure. That's not enough. Operator in hand. Spike is half defused, but they're going to need to pop this after the kill. They're holding it. They're holding it. They're holding it. Not enough time. Cheat Chomper lays it down.
Yep, they do. They're able to come in clutch and come through with a much needed win here in the first half. Keep in mind that, you know, best case scenario for Yadkin is they finish out the half 7-5 in the split. And that is a good half. Again, there's nothing wrong with that half. But now we're getting our first time out, so we know what that means. It's time for the Pyro J and Atsoka show. It's everybody's favorite. As we do get our first time out of the day, Pyro, you know, I gotta ask you, okay, we're talking about these recent nerfs and changes, and again, you already know how I feel about them, but I need to ask you, if you had to pick one character that truly needed a buff and or nerf, who would it be?
Cypher needed the nerf. I actually think that the Cypher nerf is completely fair. They are overused right now. The tripwire, the tripwire at this point, it goes from stunning them from what, 2 seconds to like 1.2 or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Listen, you can yap all you want about the other indication that's new, which is if you're seen by the spy cam, that helps the casual audience more than the pro audience. And oh, who does this help? But people other than pros, it's fine. Cypher's pick rate is out the wazoo, and I can still get free kills with their current utility kit. So I'm not really that upset. I think it was a fair nerf for an overblown agent. I will say I do prefer it when Valorant buffs their agents to equal out these overpowered agents, but the Cypher nerf was fine.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know, we had to compensate for the multiple seasons of a lack of Cypher. Okay, the Cypher was underused for a long time. Okay, so we had to compensate somehow. Regardless, speaking of Cypher, heading back to Lunar Agent here, holding things down on towards that B site, and they are throwing down the trips as well as the Cypher cages, and they are keeping the majority of Yadkin early college at bay. There was an early trade on, so it is a 3v4 now in the favor of Yadkin, as they have rotated completely now onto the A site.
Has been holding this line this whole time, and you've got to clear him out of back sight. before you can even think to push through. The molly from Gamer Guy takes down Chi Chopper, and then the rest of the gunfire will do the job. They were stuck on the right side of the smoke there, right where is looking, and just became a victim to the brimstone. Spike is out. There's nowhere to go for G Money. You've got to get these frags. They're holding across as well. So Lunar Agent would have been smarter to just hold across with Now they're stuck in a 1v1. Has to get the headshot here. Can't get it. G Money. 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. Gets their third win.
Yeah, RJ Reynolds, they played around too much. As soon as you get spiked, that's when you reposition yourself. But, you know, there was a little bit of an ego challenge. I'm not going to lie. Lunar Agent was trying to play, you know, the angle game with G Money over there towards Showers. And that's something you don't want to do. As soon as you get spiked back in your favor, you do what you have to do. You take different angles. You make the most difficult lineup possible. But instead, Lunar Agent just wanted the smoke. They wanted to fire for fire with G Money. And you know what? They paid the price for it, and that goes the same as well for because they could have repositioned themselves as well, even though they had already given up their position to G Money. So again, a little bit of an ego challenge, and you get punished for it.
I'll tell you what, there are some situations where I kind of understand the ego challenge. These guys have been shooting better. They are winning in what is really a 4v5. Can Snowbangle get caught out of the ultimate? Oh, Fatty Boom actually takes out the person that's trying to look to clear away the ultimate. Really smart play there to just use it as a decoy. As trying to spray through this Viper's pit. Yadkin sure to use the pit as a way to facilitate the plant, and does so successfully. Just waiting outside of it. I'm sure they can hear the footsteps inside. I'm sure they're ready to pounce with Gamer Guy. Flash is sent in. They can't see anybody, though, losing HP for no reason. G-Money actually takes out another, so is the last remaining. It's a 1v4. Flash in. Digital Phoenix, judging the pit, is always gonna lay down the gavel.
Yeah, and that was a big investment coming from Yadkin, but it paid off. I mean, they sent in both the Deadlock ult and the Viper's Pit, and they managed to take a win along with it. Now you look on the other side for RJ Reynolds, they only have one ult at the ready, and Yadkin still has 2 more in their pocket. And with that being said, they already managed to make a comeback in the first half. Yadkin, early college, now with 4 rounds to their name. That is a big turnaround, considering that it was a 7-1 not that long ago. So a big turnaround, and even if it still ends at an 8-4 split going into the second half, that is not a bad half. That is actually going to set them up pretty well going into the second.
Run it back here from dodging the flash, trying to find one, gets double peek, but still gets one for their time. Trailblazer down, taken out, can't eliminate the final one, but respawns behind them. G Money storming through Shower, does find 2. Now it's a 4v1. Very likely that this Yadkin squad gets a 4th win in a row. Snowbangle has to do a lot here on the operator. There's one. Still more to find, obviously. Watching this angle, hoping somebody peeks out. The jump peek gets decimated. Here come the knives. Spikes planted down. You've got to expect them to your side here. Snowbangle trying to smoke themselves off. Dashes away. Doesn't want to get W keyed. Sends the knives, but can't find their target. Operator shot out as well. They got their still time here with the shorty. They give themselves a 1v1. Snowbangle defying all odds, bring themselves from a 1v4 to a 1v1. But it's very scary to have an operator in hand. Likely chooses this Vandal to get the final kill. You've got to go now, Snowbangle. Don't allow your efforts to be for naught. Knife out, doesn't realize their back sight. Snowbangle searching for this kill, but cannot find it. Gets it. But the question is, was there enough
they
time?
Got it.
There
no,
isn't.
That should have been it. Oh, no.
No more time. And Snowbangle, even on the 4K, the clutch cannot defuse, and Yadkin, they get 4 in a row.
I still would have stuck it, even if I would have taken the L there. I mean, it's the end of the half. I mean, I guess if you want to preserve stats and what have you, I don't know. Maybe it's just for the sake of pros don't fake, do it for the memes, you know. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, that is a big turnaround for Yadkin early college. I mean, they made a tremendous comeback from once being 7-1, now going into the second half 7-5. That is a tremendous first half and a great turnaround. Now they set themselves up for a pretty good standing going into the second half. And now RJ Reynolds, still with that player down, are going to have to play offense. Let's see. As Yadkin early college, I mean, looking at their lineup, it seems like they could be better suited for the defense. We already know Deadlock on the defensive side is pretty talented. Let's see if it's going to be enough for Yadkin to make this full comeback.
We're going to see exactly what that Deadlock utility looks like against the Jet. They tried dashing away, and GG Chopper, you better get out of the Trailblazer because you're getting shot. Fatty takes care of the trade, but then gets eliminated by who is storming through sight. Decimates everybody. 3v2 in favor of the Reynolds, who have only lost a single agent.
Yeah, now goes that blind, yeah. And you know, that's what we were talking about Phoenix being somewhat of that pseudo duelist where they can also double as an initiator.
It is Digital Phoenix, Ghost Fire. There, it's the wall up as well. G Money really assisting this effort of Yadkin. 2 to take down, half health on the Zone player. Gets 1, G Money, 1 more, pops a spike. Lunar wants to peek it. Here's it again. The knife's out. The kill's there. Lunar Agent finishing the round with finesse.
I mean, the backstab was a little extra, but sometimes, you know, you gotta like a little extra. I mean, that was awesome. That was like the cheekiest backstab ever because they didn't need to do it by any means. But my goodness, was it good? True stealth assassination coming from the intel broker that is Cypher, Lunar Agent. Again, putting, like you had mentioned, a little finesse on the end of that. Imagine getting backstabbed by a comb. By the way, that was a comb that they got, Euro's comb to be specific. And again, that was just a great way to end the pistol round going into the second half, and RJ Reynolds setting themselves up early to try and take this game.
Oh boy. I mean, it's one thing to not smoke off heaven, it's another to do it so that you can get your Jet to find a Marshall kill. G Money, this is a scary situation here. Clear is out there actually gonna push through on this, grab the Marshall. All played here, another flash, and they're trying to get a line of sight onto somebody, but look at all the utility. I mean, you've got the net, you've got the cages. Hard to look through all of this. 1 fired on the gamer guy. Finds a kill as well. Lunar Agent's down. 3v2 in favor of Yadkin, make it a 3v1. And a Bulldog and half shield. What can you do?
I'm still completely taken aback at how G Money managed to get that Marshall shot on the run. Like, I don't even know how they managed. Y'all, did you see that? They got a wall bang onto Cypher while on the run with a Marshall. Quick scope, need I mind you. I still don't even know how they landed that shot. That was insane. That had to be the best shot of the game so far.
Pretty gorgeous. Yeah, gotta give it credit. I mean, Cap, how many times have we like questioned why they're buying a Marshall, but then they exceed our expectations?
I mean, not even that, but that's the thing. G Money didn't even buy the Marshall. They had to pick it up. Like they went into that round with pistols and they picked up the Marshall and just started popping shots. I mean, just the talent is unbelievable. Again, my jaw literally dropped watching that. I mean, again, I hope we get a chance to clip it, go back, watch it, because I need to see that again. That was unbelievable. That was, again, the best shot I have seen so far here today, and I honestly, I hope it could be outdone. I mean, I hope I get to see more. That was great. As we get ready to head into round number 15, still a 2-round lead in the favor of RJ Reynolds.
I'll tell you what, it's only the first round of playoffs, so the plays should only get better and better. That being said, look at this lurk spot by Chi-Chi Chomper. Yeah, take them all down. 2 for the Bucky. But the question is, was it enough? Was it worth being the rat right under Hookah? Cage is down to get the plant out, and the 2 left for RJ Reynolds are in really low HP. 3 for Lunar Agent, only 15 for Gamer Guy. It's just not enough. Taken, marks their sights and eliminates them, brings this game within 1.
Yeah, and you notice there that Yadkin, they were playing from a deficit. So once again, you know, they did not have the weapon advantage. So whenever you do have to resort to like a budget buy and, you know, kind of reach to the bottom of the bargain bin to make the magic happen, you have got to play to your weapon strength. So being able to play underneath drop, underneath Hookah, and then taking advantage of the Bucky in those close range scenarios, because not only were they able to find 2 eliminations, but they were able to put the remaining 2 players, both the Brimstone and Lunar Agent, to low health. So again, they overperformed there, the Sky over there on Yadkin Early College. So again, that's what you have to do. You've got to play to your weapon strengths, no matter no matter what weapon it may be.
Definitely smart on the budget buy. We'll move on here to 30 seconds, 40 seconds down off this round. Reynolds and Yadkin, both teams have lost one agent as we transition over to the B site. Taking nice shots fired here. Trying to get another on top of the box. Not quite. Digital Phoenix on the flag. See ya later. Lunar Agent picks up the weapon as well. And, where'd he even go? He's being cornered, but he's hiding out in the smoke. Down with one. Still plenty of health here to take down a second. 3 kills. Can we make it 4? Of course we can. The 4-kill clutch.
And it's just as soon as you think that Yadkin Early College is getting ready to tie this game back up after so long from having to work from a deficit, somehow, some way, RJ Reynolds manages to steal the win away. And this time it was again on the Phoenix, being able to fill in that pseudo role is just coming in clutch. My goodness, they have been the top frag for the majority of this matchup, and they continue to perform so well. But now things are getting interesting. You're looking at the money here, and there is it's nearly even, because you have to keep in mind that it is a disparity of, you know, a 5v4. So when you're looking at the economy, you have to remember that Yadkin is always buying for an extra person, and RJ Reynolds, you know, they don't have to invest for 5 whole people. So when you look at the economy, it's actually a lot more even than it would suggest.
Oh, that's fair, but that's an even shot as well for the ultimate to pick up 1. And I think they're going to be taken out for it. Yeah, they get right over that car and they get taken down. Oh, Snowbangle, nice work over there in the back site. Find a way around. Your Ancient is down. Reynolds, they've won these rounds off a deficit before. They can do it again and again and again. Snowbangle on 3 kills. That's a spike and escapes from the A site. They're making a beeline to B.
Yep, that they are. And they're going to be able to get the plant off. Now, the big proponent here is how you position in the post plant. They have the advantage. The spike is now taking down. It is on the side of Yadkin to try and defuse. So now you have the advantage of being able to anticipate where they're coming from. And with those early birds coming out there looking for the blinds, you now know exactly where they're coming from. So this should be a big advantage to RJ Reynolds, as now you do see one elimination going down. Only 1 player remains. It is in fact going to be Chomper, who has 20 health remaining until there were none. And once again, it will be to find the final eliminations and the round win for RJ Reynolds.
Man, oh man, is like this force that cannot be denied. And factually, Snowbangle kicked that round off. You know, 3 kills right off the bat, transition to the other side where they knew it was open. But we talked about positioning. Could have hung towards the back of Hookah, just watch the spike, but they took the fight straight to Yadkins. Really impressive to see this 4-player team of Reynolds stay strong.
And now RJ Reynolds has the benefit of 4 ultimates at the ready. Let's see what they can make of it as we are underway here in round number 18. RJ Reynolds, the first to hit double digits. And again, that is going to be a big boost of morale and momentum for them. As you can see, they are going to be slowly but surely making their way up B main. And there's little to no coverage from Yadkins here on B.
It's scary because there is that Viper and Hookah, but that's pretty much it. No utility, no deadlock utility here, right? So they get that free plant nearly. Digital Phoenix still hanging out in Hookah, but yeah, sees nobody from short. They say they must have all gone long, team. We've got to collapse on this play. And so they will. Shots being fired already. Digital Phoenix cannot find their mark. GG Chomper healing their friend. Digital Phoenix, Snowbangle takes out 1 though. And look at their Dolus still hanging out in sight. Let's take out anybody they can, but looks away from the entry. GG Chomper does go down. And they're taking out everybody that's jumping through Hookah. There's no safe passageway into this site. G-Money held by the trip. And Fatty Boomba, you're probably gonna be better off just sitting here in elbow praying or firing away at everybody. 2 down, no time for the defuse, but we'll take those kills.
Yeah, we'll take the kills, and they also tried to take the Vandal, but unfortunately they could not run the blast. But my goodness, I have loved seeing this Outlaw play. I mean, there was a moment when, you know, we got to see a lot of the Outlaw for a little bit when it was first introduced, but then it just kind of got phased out a little bit. And, you know, I was seeing less and less of it, but now, you know what, I'm glad we're getting some Outlaw highlights in today. And that was a great play. I mean, it wasn't enough to secure the win, but you got to give them credit where credit was due. And speaking of J Reynolds, giving them their credit for being able to hold on to this lead despite being a player down and still having 4 ults at the ready here in round number 19.
Unbelievable, but they see Chi Chopper with the Bucky? Oh no! Couldn't get a kill out of it. We have applauded the ratty Bucky spots, but that one just isn't gonna work out, at least for the kills. Some good damage. Yadkin early college, this is playoffs. You give RJ Reynolds match point after this round, and your run is over for this semester. G Money, oh, they know that. They're gonna get every dang kill that they can and dismiss. Off that first kill, Lear out as well, just to come down from heaven, and they've got to work quickly. The spike is down. Firing shots away, and the ADS can't get it, but the flash definitely helps Digital Phoenix to trade out G Money, and it's a 2v2, but they're running out of time here. Digital Phoenix, shots fired. Gamer Guy gets some damage, and will get the kill as well. Find 2, no, taken. Storms away with the Spectre, and the big question is there time? It's gonna be close, but I don't think there is. No, 0.15 away, and RJ Reynolds just barely get away with it.
Match point.
Well, they're gonna get away with it, and now they're also gonna get away with putting themselves onto match point, only 1 win away from pulling off this upset. And now, once again, we get ourselves a timeout, which means it's time for the Pyro J and at Soka show. Here we are once again, and I want to see how you are thinking of this new agent Clove. Clearly we didn't get to see them here on Bind, but where do you think Clove really fits into the meta, if they fit into the meta at all just yet?
I think they definitely do. I'll be honest, excuse me. We always talk about agents in the pro scene, how they fit in, but there's also the casual and the ranked experience. And Controller is honestly the last agent picked on a lot of teams, but now I feel like that's not the case. When you have an ultimate that revives you, when you can actually do things when you're dead and still be of use to the team, Controllers are now selected a bit more actively and proactively by team members. So just for that reason at Soka, I'm all about Clove. Because now, when I'm last to pick, I don't have to take the smoke.
You know what? I think that is also really interesting, because considering that, you know, Clove, you know, for the most part, I feel like also has some pretty strong duelist qualities about them. Again, being able to res yourself and go and hunt down another player, that feels very duelist-like to me, you know? Because once we see these Cloves and they use their ultimate, you know, it's all about the headhunt. But speaking of, RJ Reynolds now on the headhunt here in round 20, as already Snowbangle able to find the first off-the-wall bang, looking to find another as they even the odds here. 4v4, still 2 ults at the ready. Blade Storm is there, as well as the Orbital Strike. They might not need it as they find another elimination. Snowbangle clicking heads here in round 20 as Fatty Boomba trying to take cover behind this mid tunnel, and they too will be gunned down. Now 3v2, 1 ult at the ready. Orbital Strike still in the hand of Gamer Guy, as it's going to come down to Digital Phoenix here for the side of Yadkin early college, and they will be gunned down before they can even step foot in hookah. GG's all around. Your winner here is RJ Reynolds.
Well, congratulations, RJ Reynolds. As Kat mentioned, you guys are the winners. You're moving on to the semifinals of playoffs here for the Foothills Conference of VESL. And it was an incredible finish here. I mean, you consider it, there they are, 13-7, down with Yadkin early college here at the bottom. 3 of now our top 4 that we know of. This was a team who really just had to work to their fundamentals, Cap. 4v5. Like, there's very little room for error.
There is very little room for error, and you know the further along that they go into the bracket, the harder that 4v5 is gonna get. And you know, I don't think they're gonna be able to keep pulling it off. They are gonna have to get that fifth member in, hopefully. Otherwise, there's gonna be teams that are gonna take full advantage of that, and they're gonna play to that weakness, and they're going to exploit it. Speaking of, we are going to have another match coming up very shortly. It's gonna be Forsyth B taking on let's see here, taking on Carver. That's right, yes, Carver. And that should make for a pretty good matchup as well. As we know, Forsyth is one of the favorites going into this bracket, and now we get to see their B squad, the JV team, if you will, and see how they stack up to the varsity and see if they can take on Carver. And Pyro J, I mean, I gotta say, that one I'm actually looking forward to. And not that I wasn't looking forward to the previous one, but I'm really interested to see if the JV Forsyth team can stack up to the varsity.
How deep does Forsyth run? We're going to find out very soon here, folks, as our playoffs action for the Foothills Conference of VESL continues. We'll see you after this break. Welcome on back, everybody, to the VESL playoff action here for the Foothills Conference. My name is Pyro J. I'm here with Captain Atsoka. We just saw the 13-7 of J Reynolds taking out Yadkins. And now we've got one more team to make the top four, Captain Atsoka. It's either West Forsyth's B team or it's Carver. And I think this is going to be a really good match because there's so much on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We already got to see a good bit of Carver. Carver is a pretty good team. They're a very well-rounded, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do. However, if West Forsyth B is anything like the main roster from West Forsyth, then my goodness, they're going to put up one heck of a fight, to say the least. They are looking, I mean, we've already seen West Forsyth, and so far in the bracket, they have dominated 13-0, 13-1, and they have been definitely the top team. I mean, look at this, 13-0 for their first game, 13-0 for the second, and then even during the regular season, that's how the majority of their games are going, if not all of them. So again, if the B team is anything like the A team, then my goodness, I wouldn't be surprised to see a West Forsyth v West Forsyth grand finals. But first, the B team has to get through Carver.
That's true. There's still more wins to carve out here. And I mean, what impresses me the most about West Forsyth is the fact that their second match, they 13-0'd a team who won the last round 13-1. Like, that is strength of schedule, just bolstering them higher and higher. So yeah, we'll see if that ultimate West Forsyth action begins. But our next match here, folks, is indeed West Forsyth B team versus Carver. So I say we get right into it here, folks. It's time to find out who is our last team in to the top four, the semifinals for our Foothills Conference in North Carolina High School Valorant. You can see Carver on our right-hand side. You can see West Forsyth B team on our defense side, and we're whittling down the players every match here, Cap. We saw a 4v5 last time. How about a 4v4?
And again, I wouldn't be surprised if this was some type of agreement where, unfortunately, one player couldn't show up, so the other team is you know, matching their player count just to make it as fair and even as possible. So again, kudos just to the sportsmanship being displayed here. But with that being said, we are going to be going to Ascent, and it's going to be interesting to see how these compositions play out. Again, you can see on West Forsyth, they're hovering over the KJ in the Cypher. I don't expect them to pick both, because having a double sentinel is unorthodox already. To have a double sentinel with only 4 players, that's even more so. But you know, it's their team, it's their call. As you can see, picks are coming in, and on the side of Carver, there is going to be the Neon, the Omen, and the Cypher. Not bad picks at all by any means, especially when you're playing with only 4 players. Meanwhile, you're looking on the other side, the Cypher has been confirmed, and now Omen. And if they do stick to this lineup of, you know, having the Reyna with the KO, I wouldn't be mad at that composition either.
I'd be pretty happy with that as well. Okay, you're gonna get the Sky instead of the KO. I don't mind this. This is still Initiator with information, right? That 0-point knife, that'll tell you who's around. But that flash by Sky will also tell you if you've blinded somebody. So you're getting information out of whoever you choose there. I'm also kind of happy if I'm for West Forsyth B, because look at what you don't see on the side of Carver. No Initiator. Not only that, but no flash. Technically certified s'mores on the Yeoman. They have a Paranoia that can blind you, but that's really all you gotta worry about. When you're maybe defending a site and watching an angle, you don't have to worry about that quick flash like we saw in the Phoenix, right, Cap, in the last map. So that's kind of, maybe, that could work pretty well for West Forsyth.
Yeah, and not only that, but they're also, you know, they have the duality of Sky that can also heal. So I think that's going to go a long way, especially more so in the 4v4, because being able to take these gunfights are going to be pivotal, you know, even more so now that they are both playing a player down. So having that extra heal can pretty much be like having a second life. So we'll see how this gets implemented as we get ready to get the pistol round underway now between West Forsyth and Carver.
All right, get it on, get it going. Smoke's already out, both on Market and CT. So let's see if the Sky, again, no flash coming out. That keeps throwing me off here for Carver. No flash, so the smokes are down, but if you actually hit the site, they're kind of choosing not to quite yet. A couple smokes right here. The Market. Still spamming, by the way, and finding 2. So, I mean, right now, if you're Carver, do not walk into that gunfire from Lotus.
And you're thinking that the Cypher Cave is going to provide them with enough cover to get on those dodge, but it just doesn't. I mean,
Last player standing.
Now they get the flank. Lotus getting a 4K in the pistol round, and on any other day, in any other circumstance, that's an ace.
It's an ace. You said it before, Cap, when we were casting a 4v4. You're like, for all things considered, to me, that's an ace. So we'll call it that. Lotus with the ace, the first two to market. Then the wraparound happens. Lotus is like, hey, team, just keep him in main. I'll take care of the rest. And that's what they did. West Forsyth B up 1.
Yeah, looking really strong, and also looking reminiscent of their counterpart team as well there in the upper bracket as they continue on here. This is what I was worried about. That the West Forsyth team would be just as good as the other, and so far, just from the pistol round alone, we can see they definitely have. But I mean, that's only the pistol round. That's only the first round here on the sand. Still plenty of Valorant left to play.
Behind you.
Spike down. Spike down, B. Last player standing.
B team just start decimating everybody of Carver. Luck, the last one standing, and
Gotta go.
Watch out for you. Gotta watch out for mid, because Pew's got that Spectre ready to go. Carver, flat-footed and pinched.
Yeah, it's like watching a horror flick, we get the benefit of being able to see what the players don't, and that's that there's people behind them. You gotta look behind you, but I mean, that's the benefit of being a spectator. We get the thrills and the anticipation of knowing where those treacherous eliminators are lurking, and unfortunately the players do not. But that's going to be the second round going to West Forsyth, which is on par with the script. You win pistol round, you get the buy advantage going into next, and then you take that dub. And now here we are into the bonus. Carver should have the buying advantage here in the bonus round. They should be able to buy up.
Scout destroyed.
West Forsyth should not be able to buy up too much, but it looks like as though they already have Vandals coming out on the side of West Forsyth.
It does, and I guess we're not going to see much more of that Vandal, hearing that there's a little bit of technical difficulties for this round, so that round may just continue out. And if we had to forecast what happened, Cap, it's the fact that better buys coming out of Carver, they should, on paper, get this round win.
Yeah, they should. That's normally how the script goes. The team that takes the first 2 wins is denied the bonus. But honestly, with the way that West Forsyth has been playing, with the way that they're able to get these frags, get these eliminations, and Lotus leading the charge, they very well could get the bonus, and that should set them up for a monumental lead. So it's really going to be all down to Carver to deny the bonus round. If they don't deny bonus, then I'm sorry, like West Forsyth is setting themselves up to really carry the series away. And also, just for a brief moment, I like to point out that I love whenever we get cut in when the camera comes back to us, and they get to see our focus face, because I'm dialed in like this whenever I'm commentating
close.
I'm in there, and it cut back to me, and I can actually see myself how I look while I'm because I'm
Well,
I'm
yeah, because you're
in.
like, I think they have a Vandal, and I'm like really looking, and then it's like, oh, hey, everybody. But I am getting word that we are ready to get back into the game. So let's see what happened with that round 3 if we get in the midst of it. And whoa, a few rounds went by here, folks. And Carver, Cap, they didn't just win that round, they win quite a few.
You see, and that's why it's so important to deny the bonus, and you can already see that it has paid off dividends, as not only has Carver been able to take the lead back, but now they have ultimates on their side and the player count on their side as well here in round number 8, and they are setting themselves up to take yet another win. So I'm not sure what happened in between, but it had to be
last player standing
revitalization, or maybe even just a strategy change, because when we saw them, they were down 2-0, and now they come back with 4 wins to take a lead. And now Reverse Craft is going to be eliminated, and that will be the 5th round win going to Carver, and they are looking strong.
And good for them too. Looks like a lot of it's been done on the backs of Booga and Certified S'mores. By the way, fantastic name. Love s'mores, and why not have them certified? But both of those players have 20 kills between the two of them, and then only 4 deaths each. That's the lowest you can see on the entire scoreboard. They're carrying the effort. Now, Certified S'mores, the only player on Carver right now that does not have an ultimate. Everybody else does. So Carver, ready to do damage. Not on the site we're looking at, by the way. On the A site, where there's only one player from Forsyth B team.
And you know, speaking of the player s'mores, you know, honestly, just random fat thought that came to my mind. I want to try s'mores, but instead of like a Hershey bar, I want to use a Reese's cup.
I'm a big peanut butter chocolate guy. No,
it's perfect. Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't too much. But regardless, what isn't too much is being able to bring the coverage onto the A site. You can never have too much coverage on A, especially when the spike is looming. Meanwhile, you do have that one lurky turkey, that Cypher from the side of West Forsyth trying to make their way through mid, but the jig is up. They get pointed out, and Lax now has to avoid the danger because they are completely exposed. Now, on top of them, they get started. Still finding an elimination, but eventually they will be gunned down. It is 3v2 now in the favor of Carver here in mid.
Can't believe after the stun, Lax still gets a kill, but they do. Mid still. Yeah,
30 seconds left.
Carver as the wall from Neon allows 2 to pass. Lotus says, all right, fine. I'll rotate 2. First Craft ready to lay it down from Market into main. Doesn't get the kill on the Cover going out. Huge kill. That's a top fragger from Carver. 15 seconds left on the clock. There seems to be
last player standing.
Luck gets the kill though, so that avenue should be there for Carver to get into sight.
One enemy remaining.
They're not gonna make it. They planted after 4 seconds, so they're just trying to get the
Clutch.
last kill. Lotus knows the play there, life and win the round instead. What a nail biter for the win of West Forsyth.
Yeah, not only did they get the win, but they also got to take a complimentary Phantom. You know, like that's just like an extra reward on top. Mine as well, but my goodness, that's really coming down to the wire, and you don't see a lot of rounds that end off that way, where you know the way that you get the win is simply by surviving. And Lotus not only clearly a survivor, but also being able to get frags as well. They are currently the top frag for their side on West Forsyth, and they continue to come in clutch for their team. And now, as we get ready to head into round number 10, it is just about as even as it can get. 4v4, 3 ults available on each side. Let's see how they use them.
Carver last time. Goalless. I mean, they could dash through all of this, right? So that's stun. Finding its way through Market. They'll clear that area, but Lotus is watching this from the other side. Fire on somebody to spray. It's getting damage.
Get out of my way.
Kill, so Lotus knows this is the danger zone.
Cutting their vision.
Clear is out. They've got a second to work, and no rush really from Carver to hit site quite yet. They've got to take one. Lotus, good for one, dismisses, but eventually found out by Luck. Ready to go there.
Stealing sight.
The spray, but it's flash. Reverse tap down by the counterpart. Certified S'mores. Big splash.
One enemy remaining.
No, Cypher is the last to remain. West Forsyth as Carver get their 6.
Yeah, and that was a very clutch win there, and it was tough. It was really looking as though it was going to go the other way, especially when Booga got caught out with the knives out, by the way. They got caught out mid-ult and they were eliminated, but that's okay because you still have 3 ultimates to play with. Meanwhile, on the other side, you can see that they did invest like you said, the hatless Cypher, so they invested the Neuro Theft.
Let's go!
So that is another ult that went down by the wayside, and now they only have 2 remaining, getting ready to head into round number 11, and Carver looking ever so strong as now they should have the bomb power as well. They should have an advantage as they take advantage early on and find 2.
You know what's so funny about this is no effect coming out from Carver, right? They're just playing patient. They know they've got a steep agent advantage. Instead, Revert has their spy cam out, checking every angle between Market and CT to make sure they can get in the site and get this plant down. Certified S'mores being alive is also going to be a problem for West Forsyth. This player still
Spike
on
planted.
Just 4 deaths out of 10 rounds. Better than a coin toss to make sure that they don't die every other round. Lax here on the flank, hoping that they can get some kind of pinch action with Pew, who's working down the CT side.
And you know, this is, you know, the best approach here, but at the end of the day, you still have that player deficit, you know, and they were able to make up for it, but they did take a lot of damage into
Cage
the
trigger.
crossfire.
Last player
Carver
standing.
Now, still being able to hold on to that advantage as they find another elimination onto Lax. Pew with only a sheriff in hand, no deputy or marshal. Trying to make their way. So they just drop right on into the shark-infested waters, and they are eliminated. And
Last round before the switch.
Going the way of Carver, 7-4 in the last round of the half.
This could be a tricky round too. You know, I feel like when any Omen on the field has their ult, to use it from the shadows, it creates this paranoia. You don't know where they are, where anywhere on the map they could be, and you're looking behind you to make sure it's not you that's getting targeted. Now with 2 of them online, what could possibly happen here? A-Site's gonna get some early information. This Trailblazer 1, 2, maybe even 3 that they were able to scout, so that's probably gonna call some reinforcements of West Forsyth over to A-Site. But notice the lurk of West Forsyth of their Cypher. If Carver rotate, they're going to rotate directly into main, into that Cypher. Not a lot of safe places to go here if you are Carver.
Yeah. The operator is waiting. So pesky. You love to see it. They do find an elimination on the Pew. But now, West Forsyth know that there is an operator in play. They are not going to peek these long lanes. That would be a death sentence against an operator. That they are just going to
Still inside.
Against Lotus.
Still inside.
That way they can cut through and make a way onto the site, and they're going to take out Lotus. Meanwhile, we got Last on with the judge. They find one.
Last player standing.
Why do you pull out the classic there? You had a judge, and they pull out the sidearm, and they get dealt with immediately.
Ooh, reverse
30 seconds left.
Here as they TP directly in the boathouse, saying, "You want to get onto this site? I'll make you
Switching
work for
sides.
it." And, well, Carver works for it, they earn it. So we started out with this team down 0-2. Boy, has it been a tidal wave of momentum back in their way, 8-4 after the first half.
And you know, that's still not a bad half either for West Forsyth by any means. We have already discussed this, you know, in the previous round. You know, going into the 8-4 split, that's still a decent half. I mean, it's especially depending on the map that you're playing on, because some maps, again, favor the offensive side of the spike, others the defensive. So, you know, it really doesn't, it's not to say that it doesn't matter how the first half goes, but you could always make up that extra work in the second. It is definitely not too far gone here for West Forsyth.
This is West Forsyth targeting the Sentinel's site. Oh, you're dangerously close to the action of everybody coming in. Oh, no flash, no smoke.
Spike down, B.
One finds 2, maybe even 3. No run out of bullets. And Pew gets a kill instead.
I got the spike.
Players on West Forsyth at half HP here, but Pew does have the spike to put down. Cheeky spot here.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Holding, but ends up being taken down by Booger regardless. 2v1.
Scout destroyed.
Pew finds one on the step side, but searches on the fast lane. But the shots are faster than they could account for. Certified S'mores with the kill and a defuse for Carver.
Yeah, and again, that was mostly luck. And when I say that, it was mostly the player luck that managed to come through and deal out all that damage, because not only were they able to get the 2 eliminations there, but they were also able to deal damage on the final 2 players as well. And I'm talking about Pew and Reserve Craft. So they managed to come through, get the 2 eliminations, and then deal that extra damage. So that way, when their teammates came through in the rotation, it would be a lot less difficult for them to finish off the round. So good pistol round coming from Carver as they get ready to head into next, where they do have the weapons advantage. Now let's see if they can make the most of it here as they look to put themselves into double digits.
Really slow setup there from Reaver. They weren't on site until the very end of it, and now getting chased down by the Trailblazer. This time they're successfully using the fast lane with HP on the Reaver. The tripwire down on the dash in the site and find 2 kills. That should never, ever
Last
happen.
player standing.
Forsyth B getting
Spike down. Defender spawn.
fascinated here. Lotus, the final one remaining. Spectre in hand. 1v2. Too much to account for. One on both sides.
One enemy
Running
remaining.
the CT, but the kill's still there. Luck. Can they hold
have the spike.
on? No. Spike's there. Go, Lotus. Run.
Yeah, but luckily for Luck, maybe a little bit of a pun intended, there's a lot of weaponry on the ground to choose from. I'm pretty sure I even saw a Vandal. So that can give them a big advantage when they do rotate and head back over towards
Planet.
And now we got ourselves a good old-fashioned 1v1 duelist v duelist. Who's going to take it? Is it going to be the Neon or is it going to be the Reyna? Luck versus Lotus. Let's see who's going to hold out.
Well, I love the fact that Luck's already searching on the site. That Neon can allow you to rotate so quickly and buy you some really well-needed time to clear every
This
angle.
way.
That said, Luck, I mean, trying to cut off angles as they move in the site. But sooner rather than later, they have to realize that Lotus is not in sight, waiting for them in heaven here. Luck searching. Right at that angle. Lotus playing their lives, playing their time, and Luck, they've got to hold that defuse at that point. They just did not clear quickly enough. This takes advantage, and West Forsyth the first in the second half.
Well, there you go. Big clutch round there. As now, I mean, that's hardly ever the case, to be honest. You know, when you win that first pistol round, normally you're able to come through and, you know, secure the second, and then you set yourself up for the bonus. But this time, you know, it's a 1-1 split here in the second half, and the buying power is now going back to West Forsyth. You can see they're buying up at least one Phantom, one Vandal, and, you know, what you really got to look at is the shield differential. You have 3 half shields on the side of Carver. And then you got 3 full shields on the side of West Forsyth. So let's see if that's going to make all the difference here as round number 16, or rather round 15 is underway.
Check it out, by the way. 2v2 split on West Forsyth, and it's a full-on fake. So much noise, so much utility, even a kill made on the B site, all as a decoy. It is a free plant on the A side. That couldn't have been executed before. Getting themselves into a bit more trouble than they asked for, but still a good situation for West Forsyth as they find yet another Lotus with the Sheriff down all the way that stretch.
Yeah, we have seen just how dangerous the Sheriff can be in the right hands. Not my hands, by the way. I'm absolutely horrible with it.
Last player standing.
Talented players in general, they can just get 1 clicks to the dome piece, and it's truly impressive the shots they're able to pull off with the sidearm of all things. As now you can see Certified S'mores, the last player left standing here for Carver in round 15, as they try and salvage something here. I mean, they are going to have to try and maybe go for a save, and that's exactly what it looks like they're going to do.
Yeah, not really a lot of options there with Carver. You got 1 left, and I mean, just an impressive playstyle there from West Forsyth. Carver have pretty much seen West Forsyth commit to one side, no rotates, just everyone just plunging into sight immediately, and that was a really great way to make Carver expect that every time and condition them. Instead, they go for the fake, the free plant, and the perfect round. So they're going for it again here. The question is, can they repeat their good work? Can they make this effort for them again?
Well, let's see. We are on the way now into round 16. And out comes the UCG West Forsyth. Big early pick coming from Luck, who is able to get 1 on to reverse.
My camera is
destroyed. Big early elimination there. West Forsyth now down a player. Still have one ult in the tank, so does Carver. And quite honestly, the ultimate on Neon, I think, is probably one of the most powerful ults in the game. Don't at me in the chat. That is just one of my many perfectly made takes.
One left.
And Neon gets eliminated off the slide.
Was that with the bulldog on the Neon? Because that spray can be pretty unforgiving, but at the same time, oof. It's one too many shots to miss your mark there. Luck goes down. West Forsyth.
You disappoint me.
Oh, it was too cheeky. A shrouded step from Certified S'mores gets punished 2v2. Lotus still holding the spike. It's been down for way too long, by the way. They faked B site again and hit A for the plant. And Carver, you don't have time. Save your money. Save your guns where you got it. Lotus might even try to save at this point, as West Forsyth fake and hit for another win.
I don't know, Carver here in the second half, you know, they've just been a little bit unorganized. I don't know if it's a lack of communication, but I feel like you have some players that are going for the full dive, and meanwhile you have the other two players who are playing really cautiously. So they have to get on the same page and they have to work as a unit.
I'm watching here.
To try and salvage, you know, the remainder of the second half, because West Forsyth have been on a tear, and now they're within 2 of equalizing, and they have the buying power on their side. I mean, look at the advantage here. You got full shields for every player, and not to mention a rifle as well. 3 Vandals and a Phantom. The advantage all going into West Forsyth.
I've got your trail.
Take this! Because we're on strategy once again here for West Forsyth. Instead of splitting sites, they're focusing on the B side.
Coming through!
Hit by the Trailblazer. Wall of defense.
The hunt begins!
By Lotus. They'll attack and get 1 kill and have a free look in the B side. Once more, it's a kill with the
I know exactly. One enemy remaining.
Shots on the Vandal, and boy, is it working. They found 3 their way from this 4v4 ace. Try to sight out Certified S'mores. Headshots right there. They pop the Empress. You've got to just go for this, dodging the paranoia. W King towards Certified S'mores, but they'll abandon. They'll evade the rest of the round. Credit due as well to West Forsyth, because even with that you've done your work yet again. It's gonna be a 3rd win in a row.
Absolutely, and right now you can see Certified S'mores trying to stay alive here just to keep the Vandal, but no, they're not even going to be able to even have that as they get eliminated. No exit frag with Vandal for you. They just have to settle for the 1 exit frag they managed to get with the Marshall, and then again, the economy is just becoming insurmountable at this point for Carver. I mean, it is going all the way at West Forsyth. They're really going to have to come through with a win here if they want to put a stop to the bleeding, because at some point, you know, once West Forsyth, if they are going to be able to equalize after this round, then they also are setting themselves up for the lead and quite possibly the win. So if you want to stop the comeback, it's got to happen now.
Certainly feels like that. It's a 1 adaptation that could work plenty well as avoid mid. It's as if mid has not existed this entire second half. Nobody has trudged through there. And by the way, Certified S'mores already dead. First blood in favor of West Forsyth. So with everybody on them, they storm through site. Lotus trying to kick them out from back site again. There's no retake the site when Lotus is pushing gunfire through. Luck fires too.
Here we go!
1 enemy remaining.
Remaining here from West Forsyth. It's Booga and Luck to combine their efforts. And so the retake does work, in that ultimate that you love, Cap, worked even better.
I've tried explosions.
I mean, I don't necessarily say that I love it. I just think that it is insanely strong, especially when you pair it with a player like Neon, with an agent like Neon. I mean, it just complements them so much, and it is so devastating. I mean, it's hard to defend against, I guess is the point that I'm trying to make. Yes, you could maybe, you know, try and get, you know, a head click off the rip, but because Luck is so fast, you know, you really have to be a very special kind of gunslinger in order to get those head clicks on a fully dashing Neon while you're getting hit with, you know, laser beams to the face. So with that being said, you know, again, very good use of the ultimate. Even though if it was only good for 1 elimination, I'd rather have you pop an ult and get 1 elimination than to hold on to it and get none.
That's fair. Yeah, and as well, just popping the ultimate when you have it. I've seen, I think the Cypher on Carver hasn't popped their neural theft once. It's just held on to this the entire game, and better to use it than to lose the chance to use it at all. That being said, it's a much slower round from West Forsyth than we are used to. Used to the fake on one side, the hit on the other, or the full push on one side. This looks to be a pretty convincing hit, but Luck has been very, very
Spike down B.
as well. The opportunity to push on the B side. Spike is down. Scatter.
Yeah, and then you know what? The Spike is in a very unfortunate place if you're on the side of the Forsyth, because again, the Cypher
grabbed it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Understandable. So if they were able to ult with, that's great, because it was in a very horrible position there. So again, the
Last player standing
is insane. But at the end of the day, it's just not going to be enough. Those 2 early eliminations by Luck, and now the final 2, securing the ace and the win for Carver is just too much. Is now Carver has 11 rounds in their name, even that much closer to taking the dub here on a set.
Looks like, yeah, that's really cute that you grabbed the Spike. Anyway, here's an ace. Thanks so much for the round win. You know, it's like, just because that capability is offered to you to ult and get the Spike doesn't mean you can't have a plan moving forward. And part of that plan has to be taking out Luck. They are too strong right now from Carver, and if you allow them to keep working up the kills, they're 2 away from another ult.
Yeah, and that's where things start to get dangerous, right? As you win, the Neurotheft has yet to be popped, so you have to wonder, when is Carver going to use it? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, they're doing fine. They have a 3-round.
Spike down B.
Need it. I guess you can save it for when you need it most. So I'm just waiting for that moment to come for Carver. As you can see, trades already being made here in towards mid. Luck able to find out Lax. And now it is a 3-2 advantage in favor of Carver. As you can
Last player standing.
Only winners remain, and it will be Revert to find the final 2 eliminations and putting their team on the match point, still with the Neurotheft and 2 other ults online.
Yeah, the advantage is strongly in favor of Carver right now. And honestly, if I'm coaching West Forsyth's B team right now, I'm saying, imagine from B side there's a turret at market. It's gonna mow you down if you don't have it flashed, smoked, or somebody kills the person in there. Because Luck and Revert have gotten so many kills from that position, it's ridiculous. And so, that has been a weakness on B side. It's not surprising to see West Forsyth commit everybody to A. They've got to make this work.
Well, let's see if they're going to be able to make it work. As you can see, the Spike is going to be heading over towards Wine here on A main. Meanwhile, Certified Snares here in is going to make its way onto the A site.
I know exactly where you
watching.
are.
Just Certified at Tree will be eliminated. Luck.
1 enemy remaining.
Find 1 elimination, but now
Seek them out. Here, squad.
and this should go the way of Carver, as I think Luck might try to get out and save the Vandal, possibly go for an exit frag, but I think they should. Ultimately, now's not the time to break it out unless you want to pull off some real heroics.
Luck's got an ace or 2 already. You want that 3-2 if they get this kill on the Lotus. Stun is out. Oh, but even in the stun, Lotus gets the kill. So West Forsyth, they hold on to the round. I'm gonna be honest with you, Cap. Part of what won them that round was the neural theft. So wake up, Carver. Use your neural theft as well. It's useful.
And also another reason why you want to use it sooner rather than later is because it only is a 6-cost ultimate. So it is one of the quickest to get back. So, I mean, the sooner you use it, the sooner you get it back, you know? So you would think that it would have come out sooner, and it would have been very beneficial. So again, we're still waiting on that to come, but with that being said, Neon's ult is still also in play, as well as Empress on the side of West Forsyth. As you see, the Spike is heading back over towards the
Scout destroyed.
Right now for Carver, they have been pushing through, so no one is there. So the information's there.
They found my wife.
Everyone's on this A side, and now it's time to get the kills. Paranoia doesn't find the second, but good damage on the Lotus. 3-1 hasn't been traded out quite yet. It's right by that swing. Kill, they're jumping.
The hunt begins.
1 enemy remaining.
Here we go.
Spike down A. Defenders win.
But as they go down, Carver, stay up. They're on to your semifinals for this VESL playoff series of the Foothills Conference.
Yep, big old GG's indeed. And also just an impressive run for Carver, just because, you know, they had gone down so earlier on in the matchup. It was 2-0 when we left them, you know, getting ready to head into the bonus round. And then they just completely turned the game on its head. And then for a moment in the second half, it looked as though West Forsyth was on the cusp of a comeback and they were playing extraordinarily well. But good on Carver in order to maintain control, keep composure, and confirm the win in the 4v4 in a sense. Spectacular gameplay from Carver, and I'm looking forward to seeing their next match as well.
I think the resiliency and the adaptation from Carver, like you said, West Forsyth B team kept bouncing back, trying to fight back, but Carver like, don't worry, we got this. We use our ultimates when they needed. So let's take another look at that bracket. Let's see how the Foothills Conference is going here for Valorant's Spring 2024 semester. For VESL, you can see we have a top 4 locked in there. West Forsyth already getting their win to get them into the grand final, but Carver, your 6 seed, and J Reynolds, your 2 seed of this high school conference of Foothills, are still waiting to see who meets West Forsyth in the final. Folks, come along this long, you might as well stay to the end. It's me, Pirate J, and Captain Itsoka, to take you through the rest of this playoff stage for the $300 to the winner, for the top 2 that go on to the statewide playoffs. Stick around for that after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to our VESL Valorant playoffs for spring 2024. We've seen all the quarterfinals as they've gone all over and done with. Now we got a top 4 teams, and why that's important is that the top 2 of this conference for the Foothills move on to the statewide playoffs on land. Cap, how sick is it that these high school players get to even have the chance to play on land?
I mean, insanely sick, for the record. I mean, you got to keep in mind, you know, I'm an old head, and, you know, I never did actually have these opportunities when I was in high school. But if I had, I think I would have did a lot better in college the first time around instead of having to wait to go back again and finish. So again, big opportunities for these high school students in order to take their passion for esports and then turn it into a source of upper mobility, not just for the fact of being able to go and play at LAN, but to possibly display your talents to prospective college scouts looking to recruit for their collegiate esports program, and, you know, possible scholarships on the line as well. So again, it is an amazing opportunity, and big shout out for VESL just for even, you know, putting this event on in the first place.
Lots of opportunity, and huge shout out to VESL as well. Let's get a quick update on that bracket and how things have gone forward here so far today. Of course, we started with 8 teams of this Foothills conference, but we boiled it all the way down to 4. You can already see the path of West Forsyth. They have swept and steamrolled their way to the finals, but still to find out that other team that makes it to the statewide playoffs is this matchup here between Carver and RJ Reynolds. If you're rooting for the underdog, maybe you're rooting for Carver, that's 6th seed, but RJ Reynolds, they look keen and ready to take it all the way. So I've heard we got a scent, and I hear we have one more match until we get to that final. So I say, let's get it going. Let's start that match up, and let's see how these teams combine with each other. Now, Cap, what's been interesting is we haven't had a full 5v5 yet today.
Nope.
And once again, we are not. RJ Reynolds, they did pretty well with 4 people last time. How well do they make do this time around?
I mean, good luck. I mean, that's the best thing that I have to say. I mean, especially when you're in the semifinals, the team that wins this goes on to grand. So I don't blame them for not pulling any punches. We've already seen some, what I assume to be agreements, you know, where if one player is down, then you play the 4v4. But no, not when you have money and a potential ticket to regionals on the line. You have got to throw your best and, you know, hope to move on. So again, I don't blame them for bringing the full 5-stack squad, especially when you're in, you know, this semifinal situation. So I mean, it's going to be tough. You're always playing at that disadvantage, and I mean, I really don't know how to make heads or tails of this one. You know, just off of instinct alone, I would want to say that the advantage goes to the team with 5, but you know, we have seen, you know, this team with a 4-stack, and they played phenomenally. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say really, but here we are in a set, and you're seeing the Clove, and you're seeing Gecko come out. So this is going to be for an interesting matchup, to say the least.
It gets more interesting when you see them on attack side first and no sentinels. So it's an attack heavy team. Reynolds, they need to pop off on this half if they want any chance actually at winning this round. As well to mention is and Snow Bangle, where they're top fraggers earlier today on Bind, and they are on those duelist roles. So I would say very well set on their aim. Let's dive in. We get started. Reynolds crashing through B main, wasting absolutely no time. You do have the Cypher cover on the site. You got a volley after Markets and make short work of the Cypher as they push in the site. Can they keep that smoke on Market side as well? Holding this angle, but the rest of the team getting in the site and using the wingman to plant.
And down it goes, and you can see the spike has been planted. And you know what, I really think this is an interesting composition coming from Carver, but you know, I'll wait to dive into that. As you can see, thanks to the elimination feed, able to find one big blind, and where's it?
Last player standing.
They're looking for a third until they are eventually gunned down, and now it is a 2v1 scenario in the favor of Carver, going up against this Gecko.
One enemy remaining.
Out, and it will be Sage to go down. Gecko as well. Big ice wall to confirm as well, and that's gonna be the first.
I'm out of here.
Look at how thin of margins that round was determined, though. I mean, you had in an awful position in logs, ready to get taken down, but the blind, and then 2 kills somehow found out of that position, and you follow up on the Gecko as well. 1v2. How do you hold this site, especially with Sage blocking off the diffuser and all the power in themselves? The Dizzy comes out, they flash everybody, and suddenly there's a chance for Lunar. So expect this out of Reynolds. Even when their back's against the wall, even when they have 1 less agent, they'll always make a way to win the round.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, going into next here, you have to wonder what tricks is the RJ Reynolds team going to have up their sleeve in order to make this work. Again, these will be really playtime. You have to really find themselves in the meta, but they do manage to find themselves on the business end of the
Last player standing. Spike down A.
Now looking to find an ace. As my goodness, this is definitely Booga going complete battle stage here. Forced to retreat, someone on the flank, and they will be eliminated. A flawless victory going the way of Carver here in round 2.
Talk about a team of Carver who just wants to get this show on the road. You could have waited. You could have allowed your teammate of Booga to get that quote-unquote ace, but they say no. Pinch him, defeat him, let's move on. Carver committed to the win here with 2 rounds, 1 in a row, but wow, look at the difference in buys there at Soka. This one gonna be their toughest challenge yet.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta wonder why. You know, we're looking at Carver right now. Why aren't the buys coming in just yet? You know, you're looking at Reynolds and they're bringing in Vandals, rifles, the whole line. Is it because Carver is trying to get mercy here? Because they definitely had the cash. They have more than enough. It's because they are working to match with the full buy. So again, we'll see how this plays out. As already you can see the spike making its way up mid.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Spraying their pistols through the smoke. No surprise to see them get their first kill in that manner. Pulls off the However, they're holding across, and now they're trying to get the last life of can't find it. Gamer guy finds one as well. So going up. This to a 2v3. Still in favor of Carver, but with the guns, I don't know how much in favor. Plant job occurs over on B side as the Cypher does check up the Phoenix. Gets right around it. Holds inside. One thing we've learned about is even after the plant for Reynolds, he loves to play in an aggressive position, and I would consider this semi-aggressive.
Yep, semi-aggressive so far. Meanwhile, you do have Reynolds hiding behind boxes, but they get figured out and already have taken a great amount of damage.
1 enemy remaining.
The Clove managed to find a 2 gamer guy.
1 enemy remaining.
Advantage back to Reynolds, and now it's a 1v1. They are hit, and now they are eliminated. It will be Reaver to find the final elimination, but not enough time to get the defuse. A big clutch win here for Reynolds.
Really impressed with the shots fired from Gamer Guy in Boathouse. As your Phoenix is positioned behind that cube, you kind of have 2 different spots to look. Your Phoenix is not helping you look either fast lane or the CT side, so you've got to handle both, and they handle both beautifully. Those 2 kills amounting to 3 in the round were massive for Gamer Guy and the team of Reynolds to bring in their first win.
Yes, this should do.
Absolutely, but now you see that's where the save is going to come into play here for Carver, is because they did go through a save. Like, granted, you know, they didn't win the last round, but they still managed to do a lot with only a little. They were going in there with the sidearms, you know, going with an eco round more or less, and now they are. That's why we saw some more rifles. You got to see a little bit better than a classic. So as we are getting round number 4 underway, you can see that the spike is going to be making its way towards mid.
Reynolds know they have to pull off these decoys in order to get some space, some positioning. That's done around this entire site, and they've gathered. They held all the attention on the A side. They allowed them to position aggressively after the plant, and boy, is that their bread and butter or what? Complete fake on the Carver, and they don't know where to turn.
Yeah, and then right there, we got to see coming through with the Bulldog, and this is why I say that the Bulldog is weapons. I mean, from long range with the burst fire, it is just so right, especially if you learn how to handle that.
Last player standing.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Back up.
So in order to play that recoil, you really have to put in time and practice with it. And it looked like has
This way. Gotta go.
continues to tick away. I don't think Luck is going to have enough time to try and win a 1v3, and on top of that, get the defuse. So they're going to try and save the Vandal and fight another day, as that is going to be an equalizer for Reynolds. Now 2-2 in the round count.
Again, Carver, you have numbers here on defense, so don't over-rotate. What happened there was all the attention was gathered on the A side. Everyone from Carver pivoted to A, and it made for an easy mid to B push from Reynolds. You can't afford that. And with a timeout called here, I wouldn't be surprised to see that be the conversation here, Cap, for Carver. To say, hey guys, we have the agent advantage. If we're full rotating on the sites, we are throwing. Get yourselves together, hold sites down, play to your utility, and you'll have the advantage moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. And with this timeout, a very quick segment of the Pyro J and Soka Show. 30 seconds to go. Pyro, what is your sidearm of choice?
Ooh, you know what? I used to be Frenzy because I couldn't aim, but low-key, I've been cooking on the Ghost. Like, I have been cooking on that Ghost. We saw, who was it? Booga get 3 rounds on, 3 kills, I think, on the second round just with the Ghost spam alone. It's kind of OP.
Agree 100%. Now you see, as someone who can't aim, I'm definitely with the Frenzy. You know, I go Frenzy go burr, you know, so that's definitely where I'm at. But if I'm not using the Frenzy, I gotta say, when I do have a little extra cash on me, say if I'm running op for whatever reason, it's hardly ever the case that I run op, or even if I run Vandal Phantom, if I run one of my rifles, you will often see me with a lordy watch out for that shorty. My goodness, when you can fast stop to the shorty, and it does wonders in close range. I mean, it is
especially if you're Yoru in that dimensional drift, you know, pull out the shotgun, pull out the shorty. It doesn't even take a second. Opponent. What does take a second is getting that Sage wall down. This has been a problem so far for Reynolds. If the idea is to push A, they have to form a plan around getting that Sage wall down first, or maybe playing at default, splitting up. And then once that Sage wall falls, because they're putting that up right as the round starts, you kind of don't have to worry about it anymore. And you gain some information to help your team. So instead of that, it's just been a pivot up cat, which they've gotten for free. And by the way, there's a kill of Market, so that evens out the agent's entirely holding this side, but it's all mid to B. Cook is trying to hold this line, but ends up getting rid of 2 kills, maybe 3. No, the one
Go.
from Luck to dampen the attack from Reynolds.
30 seconds left.
Persist.
Going to be a
Last player standing.
Reynolds as now got certified s'mores, not left in the tank except for a couple
Spike
of
planted.
shots that find their mark. But I mean, again, the spike has been planted, and we have seen this scenario at least 2 times now for Reynolds, where they managed to plant the spike and they get the player advantage. And unfortunately, the last player from Carver, all they can really do is try and save and GG's play for next, as they literally only have health remaining as the spike continues to tick away.
Yeah, that was an interesting play from Certified S'mores. Might as well, right? If you want the money from everyone dying and just to buy again and try and get some exit frags, but nevertheless, again, Reynolds, they're up 3 rounds. They're pivoting really well off of resistance, I think. Again, to storm away from A side, get Cat for free, and find an avenue through tree, but still decide to push mid to B from that frag you got in Market. It's just good communication, right? They're saying, hey, we got this frag, this is where the opening is, let's push through. And that's what you have to do in this 4v5.
Well, here we are now. Reynolds with the 4v5,
My ult's ready.
able to take
Joke's
the
over!
lead, and not only
You're
that, but
dead!
take an extra elimination on Tabor, and that is a big elimination at that, because the ice wall hadn't even been able to get. So again, that is going to be a lot of time given back to the sides of Reynolds. Up on catwalk, able to blind fire through the smoke. Not going to be able to space for the rest of the room. Giving them time to even try and out-maneuver the remaining players from Parkland.
Which happened. I mean, it's almost impossible with that volley there. They've been pushing up heaven. Keeping them away from there. They're still taking. They've got to pick some time to push in.
One enemy remaining.
For
Flawless.
them in heaven. Take them down to hell. Flawless for Reynolds. As everyone
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
Their lives on the line, basically. Cap, they just hold their ground. Really impressive.
Oh, absolutely. And I also have to point out as well that, you know, because it is a 5v4, at least in the sake of Reynolds, the full ace is now back in play. We have yet to see it. It's going to be hard to see it. It might be difficult, but it is in fact in play. So we very well could see an ace here, and a full-blown ace from the side of Reynolds. And the question is, who's going to be able to pull it off? I mean, we've already
Monster on the loose!
They have the skill, they have the talent to pull it off. Again, we got plenty of Valorant here on Ascent. Let's see how this is going to go.
Fix this!
Play aggressive with such an attacking comp. Nevertheless,
Spike planted.
get on the B site. Survive the storm of gunfire from Market. Collected the ult, so they ended up going down. Just 2 on the side of Reynolds, but that's half their team. And
Going again.
Thrash is back for more as well. Well timed. It's gonna push him off. It's gonna detain them as well.
Dizzy's up top.
Going in for
Somebody's
the
there.
and then Lunar has to back off of it now.
Last player
They
standing.
gained enough time.
One enemy remaining.
Finding 2, not the third. Booga. I don't think there's time, Cap.
Nope. I think they're gonna get it. I think they managed to
have
get it in
no
time,
right
just in the
to
nick
do
of time. Honestly, you know, it's really hard to judge. You know, I mean, you gotta wait for the beeps. Once you hear the beeps start to speed up, at least get it to half, and they managed to get it to half in time. And that's why, whenever you're going for these post plants retakes, it's really important. Like whenever you do fake the audio cue and you try and lure out somebody, just get it to half if you can. You know, always try to get it to half, because you'd be surprised how clutch just getting the spike to half really is. Even when you think you don't have enough time, you just might. So again, the fact that they were able to secure the defuse is just great post-plant time management, and good on Booga to stay alive throughout that endeavor, especially after being blinded, having to defend their teammate who was hit with the thrash. Booga really did come in clutch there for Carver, and now they have all 5 ultimates to work with. But for the love that is everything Valorant, Carver, on your Cypher, used the Neuro Theft. Use it.
Nah, we're still gonna be calling for it.
Careful now.
Now, did anybody call for a jet with a Reaper? Would have asked for anything other than to be blindsided like that. Sorry, but keeping your eyes on mid. Taking advantage of that is Snowbank with the
One enemy remaining.
on CT. On still cooking. One more to take down of certified s'mores, and this was a complete breakdown of Carver's defense. Again, if you're not keen on anybody, it's your mistake, right? No one was watching from tree side, no one from market, and that's an easy way to get blindsided.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we were talking about that in one of the matches where, you know, here on Ascent, you know, one team just refused to look mid. They refused to play mid, and it was just an advantage that, you know, the opposition was able to take time and time again. But speaking of advantages, we are getting ready now to head into our 9th round, or
Let's fly.
our 9th round. And right now the advantage is going all in the favor of Reynolds. I mean, you look at the purchasing power, and my goodness, it is stagnating here. But with that being said, you still have so much ultimates at the ready.
Joke's over! You're dead!
That's a
down.
huge frag. Run it back. Let's get one. We'll take that. Maybe not another kill, but full sight for the player. Wingman doesn't get it down. Yes, see, no. Last second, I believe, is eliminated by luck, and so that spike isn't down. And that is a Try using this wingman. Oh my, what are you doing in this situation?
Last player standing.
You get flanked, it looks like. I mean, instantly getting flanked there. Certified S'mores coming off of that paranoia. That was a huge flank.
Someone's there.
Do is you can see the Dizzy did go out, not able to blind any, and they're gonna throw the op away. Good call.
Blow him up, Mosh.
Respectable to make sure that your enemy does not get the op. And with that being said, you know, time is continuing to tick away here against Reynolds. Again, the poor wingman
30 seconds left.
Did good to plant the spike, and now even worse still is that Lunar has been highlighted. They are in full aware of where Luna is holding up at. So do you let the time run out?
Somebody's there.
Oh dear. I mean, yeah, the Dizzy's out. They were
10 seconds left.
And the spike hand's going to be the only thing they're able to defeat. As Carver
I find them. I kill them.
reels themselves
Simple
back
as that.
in here. I mean, again, we talked about how important these early frags are. Carver, you already have an agent advantage.
This goes
with
here.
that Marshall kill on Snowbangle who had the op, massive, right? That immediately swings momentum into your favor. You let pop the alt, maybe get one kill, but otherwise hold your ground, keep them away, and have your eyes set on that
Need a
wingman.
drop.
Carver do a good job punishing the mistakes, taking them around there.
And I'm really interested why no one decided to buy for Booga there. I mean, Booga's going into this round with a Sheriff. And again, it's somewhat understandable. You still have that player advantage, and you can still do a lot with a Sheriff. We have seen it. We've discussed it. You can definitely make a lot happen with that. Meanwhile, you do have Snowbangle playing on mid with Booga. You know, playing a little bit of the peekaboo there, as they are just going to back off.
Blocking sight.
You see the spike is going to pass up mid. Looks like it's going to... And now Snowbangle from up on high, trying to find an early limb, but can't connect.
Because of all the attention at mid, B-main's a little bit more. And because of that, Lunar works right through it. Revert says, I can't watch it. It's too much. It's getting pinched and punished for it. Reynolds now with 3 agents all attacking the B side.
Get out of my way.
In the boathouse,
Go
does
fight.
find one. Crowd here, too much to handle. Snowbangle brings out the knives and gets the kill. We got a 2v2 here. As
Spike
Reynolds plants a
planted.
spike.
And now it is the time ticking
Your
against
duty
Carver, but
is
you
not
do see that Coop is going to be able to come through with the Blade Storm, even though they are going to be eliminated. And now Revert. And
One enemy remaining.
And they're able to get one. Now only one player remains. It's going to be as the spike continues to tick against Carver. They're going to have to jump onto site here. And they're going to go for the swing, but they get picked out. Booga going to come in clutch to get the final limb and the defuse, tying up the game 5-5 here in the first half.
I'll tell you what, we've criticized Carver a
One of my
lot
cameras
on
is
their
broken.
ultimate usage, but
Oh, wait.
on that round, they do
Okay.
get the res
fine.
from Sage to essentially make it a 6-4. I mean, at that point, Carver, you have 150% of agents compared to your
This is
opposition.
my spot.
I hope you win the round, right? So good job scraping that one away. We've got a very even half here with just a couple rounds left.
Yep, and once again, you can see that operator going into the hands of a Snow.
That goes there.
Could be very dangerous. I mean, again, we can hope that a good Marshall shot from the side of Carver will be able to nullify the operator in the hands of Snowbangle, but, you know, that remains to be seen. Once again, you got Revert here trying to hold up in mid, thank goodness. All the while, you do have the Omen there on B, so they're not alone here. They're not watching 2 lanes by their lonesome. They're still somewhat of a 3-stack, but you do have the lurking Neon in the background who is going to try and help out on the and this is the type of play that we needed to see all along from Carver, and it's really refreshing to see himself really adapting here. So we are well on the way into round 11.
I mean, that's the point, though. Did the adaptations just come too late? It is a tie game, so
Watching
you gotta
here.
think. And even-handed so far. There's a pretty hefty push on the A, though. I mean, this play has already begun for Reynolds. Nobody holding on to sight here, nor 3. So, fast way into sight with the retake. A, B, yes. Lucky kill
One
on the card.
enemy
Buga
remaining.
One. Make it 2 for the Vandal before getting traded out.
Watch your eyes!
One left remaining on the slide. It's a Guardian kill from Luck. And they may have taken A site for seemingly free, but that retake. Dastardly.
And you know what? That kind of reminds me of the type of play, type of defensive play you
Last
would see on a
round
map like
in the
Haven.
half.
And you know, I'm not surprised to see it on A side as well, just because it does work pretty well sometimes. On Haven, whenever you're playing defense, you mostly play for retake, right? And that's how you kind of have to play the game. You know, you give up sight, and then maybe you try and find an elimination along the way, maybe even a trade, just some type of stagnation. You know, you want to put up at least a little bit of a fight, but more often than not, you give up sight, so that way you could play for post plant, and then you just come in with a phenomenal retake. So again, what we just saw coming from Carver was very reminiscent of some plays that we used to see on Haven back when it was in the rotation pool. Bring back Haven.
Hashtag bring back Haven. You're making me miss it too, man, with all that talk. And I'll tell you what, this is a much slower play from Reynolds here for the final round of their attack half. Talked about how their composition was so offensive heavy. So this is a round I feel like it's necessary.
Joke's over! You're dead!
And a good pick on the Reavers again, who has been having trouble watching both mid and B main from that side. And they're getting picked off. Slow is set there for the spray before the plant job is complete. Everyone retaking one target here of Carver. They're hoping they have strength in numbers.
Up here, the little wingman before they can get the stun. Doesn't matter. Booga goes down at the hands of Snow Bango. That was
Last player standing. Long. Switching sides.
High game going into the second half with a 6-6 split.
I don't care if it's a 5v4. This is how semifinals should be. As close as you can cut it halfway through this game. However, I voiced these concerns earlier on. I'm going to voice them again for Reynolds. Unless you play for space here and work your magic on the early round or the retake, you're gonna struggle immensely with this composition on defense. You do not have Sentinel util to let you know who's hitting site when, and to play off of that utility, you've got to play really to your fragging power and your retaking power. So this is going to be a really interesting strategy that has to unfold for Reynolds.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, again, it is that interesting choice there from Reynolds not to go with a Sentinel here. Because ideally, and again, I'm going to stand by this, I prefer KJ on Ascent to Cypher.
Enemy kill.
Can do wonders. Meanwhile, Reynolds showing that they don't even need it. They can just stick to the pistols, stick to their guns, literally, and still have the same amount of effect, still have the same amount of damage as Snowbangle. On
one enemy remaining.
Got him. There you are.
They're able to get the follow-up with 2 eliminations on a huge flank, and Reynolds take the pistol round in the second half.
This is exactly the win condition I was discussing. You have to play for space early on. Lunar Agent did a fantastic job of recognizing presence in main and then throwing the blind to double swing and attack. The quick retake as well came through for Reynolds. It has to be aggressive, whether you're on offense or defense, and so
Stay
far,
safe.
it's working.
Yeah, so far so good, to say the least. I mean, Reynolds, you know, got to give them kudos just for being able to play a player down and still be able to take leads here against a fully stacked 5 squad. As we are underway here in round number 14 now. It looks as though the spike is going to be moving over towards B main and over towards mid. They are getting a couple of cheeky shots over towards B, but notice again that even though it were Reynolds that managed to come away with the last round, it looks as though they still aren't going to be playing overly aggressive. And you know what? I kind of agree here. Even though you have a little bit of an advantage, you don't want to give anything away for free.
For sure, especially when they have knowledge that they're over on tile side, right? Those jump peaks up there. So the Jets again going to try to flank, but maybe a little too slow to his market. Appears to be the push here for Carver. Smoking wall off CT. Get this together, double swing on to Gamer Guy, eliminates them. And there you go. Already got Carver.
Spike planted.
And once again, Spike ticking away. And Reynolds, again, trying to play for that retake type of play style that we saw earlier on A, I think is going to be even more difficult for Reynolds because they don't have that player in there. At least going to have even, if not more, more agents.
One enemy remaining.
So it's the retake type of defense is not going to work out for Reynolds in my opinion. You can see right now it is a solid victory for Carver, only exchanging one agent, one elimination for a round win, and just like that we are back tied in even at 7 rounds apiece, Pyro.
And I'll tell you what, we don't often see these first 2 rounds of a Valorant half changed, but truly in this matchup anything can happen, and that's exactly what we saw. Like you said, you don't believe in the retake too much, and we saw exactly why that is. A lot of the Sage Wall and the Omen smokes kept them at bay for too long until they had to push in with Ghosts and just didn't have their shots. They didn't have the numbers in a 5v3. So in this situation, Reynolds, play for your advantage if you can find. Just early pick out of Snowbangle and re-peek it. And Cook says you don't re-peek.
Careful now. Going up.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Cook is able to come through and find a big elimination with the Sheriff. Like we said, the Sheriff in the right hands is just as dangerous as any other weapon. Now you can see the Spike is going down.
Spike planted.
Providing enough cover.
Last player standing.
Trying to make a heroic last stand. Does get eliminated. And then remains from up in heaven, and they will be gunned down by Booga. And now Carver will take the lead back here in the second half.
J Reynolds are trading where they can. And in Tree, you can see how successfully that worked. But in other areas, it's tougher, right? Booga, after the plant, is doing a great job of walling off the really popular entryway of the retake for Reynolds to make it even tougher. And you've got to exhaust a lot of resources to get through that wall or waste plenty of valuable time. Reynolds, a lot of challenges and obstacles in their way to make this defense work.
Well, let's see if they can get through these obstacles here. As you can see, the clove smoke early in an interesting place, but it's enough to give cover to Snowbangle, who is lurking inside with the Bucky. That was a cheeky elimination, but sometimes those are the best ones. You'll love to see it. That was a good play. When you see the smoke, they're going to be cutting off the archway, leading into B site, that main doorway. But instead, they put it a little bit further in, and that just makes it that much closer range to make an advantage of that Bucky. Great just initial play to get one cheeky elim. I don't think it's gonna work again, but I don't think it has to.
That's gonna be in the nightmares for Carver.
Coming through! Go! Stop it!
Poking out of the slow smoke is hilarious to see. Fortuitous it is to see for Carver that they managed to make their way into the and get a wallbang kill. Luck well timed on Snowbangle. They're gonna think, how was that so perfectly drawn onto me? But and that's exactly what they'll get. Not there on that spray. Reynolds 3v3, so very doable if they're coordinated on this retake. That Dizzy is ready. Oh no, the curveball. One's thrown.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
For the kill. Now it's a 1v1. Duelist v Duelist. With just 3 HP and has to get this defuse rolling sometime soon. Luck pulling up.
Oh, good.
And that might just be the strategy. Pizza gets the kill. And Carver taking another win in the second half.
Yeah, that was an interesting play, and especially considering that, we saw with a little bit of utility to work with there. Not only did they have their ultimate to run it back, that would have been pretty clutch in that scenario, but they also had the firewall. Granted that the firewall, especially knowing where Luck was hiding, could have called the firewall in to deal a little bit of damage to Luck, and then also heal themselves in the process. So I feel like, there was some options there for that 1v1 scenario for but with that being said, they still get to hold on to their ult, and maybe they can find a better use for it moving forward. Here we go now into round 17. Still a 2-round lead in favor of Carver.
Tell you what, they had that running.
Coming through! I'm out of here! Shock it!
Come on, let's go!
Using it, kills on the that run it back, and the second life. Running amok.
They are now spike ticking against Reynolds.
One enemy
Now
remaining.
making only one
Last player standing.
lane here, and finally Reynolds do manage to put an end to Cooks as they get the defuse as well, and that was a big round win. Now we're just going, I guess, for skin shopping here, but no, they're gonna stick with what they got, and now we'll stick the defuse as well. And that is going to be a not an equalizer, but they are that much closer
This
to equalizing
is
against
nothing.
Carver now. Reynolds with a big win here.
Was that important?
17.
I mean, that's the impact of Snowbangle when they're not wall banged from hell in the last round. I think that's part of why you're seeing the late defuse as well as like, I'm gonna get revenge on this round and I'm gonna make it dirty as well. So Carver, they can feel the impact of that. The win there clutched out by Snowbangle, a shockwave to the community of North Carolina and high school players as Carver, they have the response, they have the timeout, and they're willing to take this time, Cap, just to slow down the momentum from Reynolds.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of momentum, we're going to keep it going here with another edition of the Pyro J and It's Soka Show. Welcome, because we have a timeout. Once again, we got ourselves a very quick 30 seconds. 9 and 8 right now. Pyro J, I got to ask you, who do you think is going to be the difference maker going forward for Reynolds? If there is going to be a comeback, who is going to be the standout player from Reynolds to make it happen?
Called it earlier that would get that ace that we said was back on the table, but I think after that last round, Snowbangle clearly has a fire worked up from under them that is making them really want to win this round and get that regional land spot out of this win. So much on the line here, Cap. And from that last passionate play, Bangle to me looks like they can still become the MVP for Reynolds.
Well, let's see here if they can make it happen. 3 ults online right now for Reynolds. All good ones, for the record. I do favor some ults more than others, but I like all 3 on the side of Reynolds. Speaking of, I also like the 2 that are over there for Carver. Again, and you know, bringing Sage to Ascent is old meta. There was a time where Sage was the meta here on Sage. I'm not mad at the choice here. I like seeing Sage here.
Since been years since there's older meta, there's oldest meta, right? Like, and Sage is definitely part of that. They can look young and spry.
Like I never left.
Luck for 2. Gamer guy on. Oh, has to get a kill out of this. Immediately taking that.
Nice one, Susie.
Like it.
There's my buddy.
Spike planted.
I got you, I got you.
Another
Órale.
to try and hold down this site. Sage wall's planted. Rez is capable if anybody's nearby. Maybe no one's there. I don't know if that's the clear.
Thrash is ready.
I can't dart. Show off Lunar. So many ults I can't keep up every single time. The Lunar Age. I mean, you've got your you've got your Molly, you've got your
Get him,
you've got a lot
man.
on the table here, but it's
going
gotta be
again.
taken out quickly because this strike is way faster than all this.
One enemy remaining.
Out, all 3 kills made, and they've got the time for the defuse. Cap, they took their time, they were meticulous about it, and it paid off.
And this is why Gecko is just so formidable here on Ascent. And there's a reason why we're seeing them more and more in the meta. And it's because, you know, whenever they do deploy that utility, we even saw there in Pizza, they were able to come through and literally pick up every single piece of utility that they threw out. So they were able to pick it back up and then use it again. Absolutely phenomenal use of the utility coming from Gecko here. Again, you got the Wingman that is able to start. You got Dizzy with the blinds. You got Mosh Pit, you know, the everybody's favorite little booger ball that can deal a 1-hit blow if you're still caught in it. And then of course Thrash. Now granted that you still have to build up that ultimate with Thrash, but once you use it, you can gain it back for not necessarily for a reuse, but it's still, you still are able to pick that back up. So with that being said, Gecko definitely being the difference maker here.
Right there.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, wait, what team are they on? I was right there with you. And oh my god, players right now storming into A.
Spike down
A.
A.
With their Molly.
Get out of my
they just
way.
got caught in a rock in a hard place for Carver and pretty much nowhere to get out. Looter Agent,
Go get him,
by the
buddy.
way, they're saying what other piece of my util is needed here? Dizzy, excuse me, Wingman to clear out the rest of main. And how do you not feel good, especially after your clutch in the last round where you exhausted all
Spikes.
Guess what? I've got the spike here. Oh, but they can't hold on from the shadows. Pulls it to B. They're gonna get a plant too, because Cooks found them on the knife throw. 2v3. Carver could pull this off.
I mean, they definitely could, especially
30 seconds
if
left.
Cooks makes use of these blades, and to me, it's not the easiest ult to work with. You know, you got to give credit whenever you do see these big plays with the blade storm. It's pinpoint accuracy, and again, blades in order to find another one, trying to avoid the danger.
One enemy remaining.
Still available. They get the right click on to the get-go, and they could come away with a big win, like you called it. Cooks leading the charge. Now a 2v1 Spike ticking against Gamer Guy here on the boatyard.
Oh, Gamer Guy walking.
One enemy remaining.
Cooks. Get the kill, get this heal up as well, and the regain for Reynolds. Enough time to get this defuse away.
Clutch.
Of course there is. Gamer
Not
Guy
today,
1v2
not tomorrow,
clutch holds
not
it down.
ever.
Okay, all right, you're gonna have to help me out a little bit here because I'm not all too familiar with how Clove works in a lot of these scenarios. I'm familiar with when they get near a downed ally, they get some kind of buff. Can you refresh mine and maybe some other people's memories on what exactly just happened after they were able to down that jet?
You've got this utility package that allows you to gain some health after you take down someone.
Dropped in a smoke.
So you can think of it a lot as that heal that Reyna likes to do instead of the
Careful now.
But it's just one. It's another aggressive part to Clove's kit that makes their agents so likable.
Yeah, it also kind of is, and again, could be the very first time that I'm seeing this, but a smoke who can somewhat pseudo-duelist. I mean, those are duelist qualities. I had mentioned it even earlier that their kit had some duelist-like qualities. I mean, their ultimate being able to survive and just go gunny immediately afterwards. So again, this is
You will not kill my allies.
being able to self-heal is reminiscent of Reyna, a very prominent duelist. And then not only that, but ISO as well. ISO has an ability after they eliminate someone to give themselves a shield. So again, you were seeing more and more duelist qualities from Clove, and I'm all here for it.
For it as well. Let's see more of what we can find out from it and what we can compare this to. On the A site is the hit for Carver and more
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Doing the damages up here. And the hot hands flurry out with their curveball.
No
Cook's
charges
forced
left.
to back off the site without even grabbing the spike. Updrafted in, 1v2 has to be pulled off here. Love is wallbang, trying to get out of the way. Still behind the box. Only 13 seconds. Cooks has to push this.
10 seconds left.
Clove assisting as well they can with the smoke and holding on to the 6 HP available. Makes the round 11-9.
Yeah, Reynolds looking really strong here. I mean, they got 11. They were the first to hit double digits, and it's one of my perfectly mid takes. That once you hit the double digits, you start to get that second wind. That's where you get a lot of momentum, especially if you're the first to get into the double digits. So again, it feels like Carver almost is having to work from the uphill battle at this point, even though they have the player advantage. It's just being that close to match point is just so daunting. It makes it even, it kind of makes it to where you are at the lower end of the morale, if that makes sense. Whenever you have to work from a deficit, especially a deficit where your opponents are so close to victory, it's just almost hard to come back from this late in the game.
It really is. Their age and numbers, certainly that's enough.
Back like I never
Spike planted.
Well, helping out, but
Sana.
from Reynolds. Half.
Cállate.
Enough on the wall bang. It could certainly help.
It's all you,
Agent
Mosh.
takes down one.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Second can't get the missiles to hit. Clears them away, and Reynolds are on the point here.
You know what? You called it from the beginning. You called it during the Pyrogenic Soka show. You said was going to be the big difference maker to make the comeback. You said that was going to be the big difference maker to solidify
match point
in this 4v5 game. And I think you called it correct. Reynolds now on match point, looking stronger than ever. And looking as though they are going to pull away with an upset because once again, you know, they have the benefit of the economy. And granted that we do see a couple of rifles being bought on the side of Carver, it is still somewhat of a broken buy. We do have the Guardian, and then we have two Guardians, and then only a half shield being bought for Reaver. So right now, it feels like the advantage, the momentum, and the morale are all in the favor of Reynolds.
Certainly looks that way. Let's see if they can actually pull off this inspirational push to make it to the finals of their conference on only 4 games. Just gotta take down High. Play off the site. They're going to solidify themselves for the retake, allowing A to be that push. Very swift flank, by the way.
Spike planted.
Favorite snow. They're not watching sight, and they get punished for it. As luck beats out against
go.
That's huge for Carver.
Shocking.
Give them at least a chance for this win. 1 from Tree, 2 from Heaven on the side of Reynolds. He needs to make these kills down. No, Lunar Agent is down.
Last player standing. Flawless.
5v1, and everybody is eviscerated by Cooks. Down to the ground. Carver, the Flawless, exactly what they needed to stay in it.
Oh, absolutely. That was I mean, clearly it was a must-win round because, you know, Reynolds won match point. But with that being said, they still managed to come in clutch there in order to secure the win. And that's when I think they most played like a team so far here today. You saw that they all went in at the same time. They truly used that numbers advantage to their advantage. And that's when they really made it count. I think they are no longer playing around. They're not taking any chances. Now we're seeing peak Carver here in the late game. 10-12, still in the favor of Reynolds. And now Reynolds is forced to a bargain buy or a broken buy, if you will. You know, they've gotten a couple of judges, maybe some shotties, and not too many rifles, some subs at best. And they're going to have to try and make that work, as this round should go to Carver.
There's been so many shoulda, coulda, wouldas here, but still I have no idea what's gonna happen.
This way.
Leading the effort though is Carver. They say, hey, free pass through Tree. Worked pretty nice.
Saw you, little homie.
Yeah, wall coming in and finding Scout and everybody out. Still gonna get knocked out. Certified sports. Play against it, but right through the wall. There's only one way to go and one way for the gunshots to go as well for Puga. So you get that elimination. Snowbangle and Gamer Guy. Heaven.
Last player standing.
Snowbangle on 1. Snowbangle on 2.
Spike down A.
2 more. It's actually wiggle around though. It's too much to do.
30 seconds left.
Down. And still
Spike planted.
not necessarily having the advantage on 45 HP. No kill though. Certified S'mores laws it down. Carver bring themselves within 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't much doing there for Snowbangle. I mean, at the end of the day, a player advantage is a player advantage, especially when you've already taken some damage earlier on and you're stuck in what was a 1v3 towards the end there. And there really wasn't much that you can ask for more from Snowbangle. I mean, also because they don't have their ult at the ready. Meanwhile, you're looking at Carver and they have 5 ults at the ready.
Thanks.
Exactly. So again, this is just looking tougher and tougher for Reynolds, and I mean they're going in with the full buy here because at the same time, you know, if Carver does pull off this next round win, we're going into OT.
And I'm almost surprised they didn't all immediately go through Tree here. You know, it was the last 2 rounds that they did that and they won off of it. But note the positioning again from Reynolds. They want to give sight if needed.
This way.
So this Phoenix is gonna have a lot to do here. And already with 1 kill on the Cooks, but clapping back is Carver. 2 kills. send down this door here. Looter agent.
I know exactly where they
And
are.
the kill as well. Their location is going to be revealed by the neural theft. Spike still not yet down. Circling around the site is Reynolds.
little man.
Spike planted.
Yeah, right now, if you're on the side of Carver, this is what you feel everything. The neural theft already came out. Now you have the revive. If you can, try and sneak that revive.
You will not kill my ally.
I'll take it. Fire, they're able to pick it up. Go the lead. Coming from the get-go. Now up on high, you got Snow Bangle. Time continuing to tick.
Last player standing.
Is there to confirm the final 2, Pyro. We got extra rounds coming.
Switching sides.
Well,
Overtime.
the unthinkable is here.
Just let them try to
4v5 pushes to overtime. And even somebody with 36 kills, nearly a 40 piece, is going to be hanging out, moving to OT as well. So we could get a 40 spot here. Captain, it's okay in one game, which would be ridiculous. But what do you think about that Carver comeback, man? That was 3 rounds in a row to push to OT.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I mean, at that point, we even noticed the difference in formation. We saw the difference in play where they all started to 5-stack. Like, I mean, like instantly, once you start to see that 10th round come from Carver, it was 5 stacks to A non-stop, and they're running it again. Look how they're set up already on the side of Reynolds. You can see here on the offensive side, it looks as though that they are going to try for A again, and A has been the hot spot. Carver, especially on the offensive side, being able to come in with the 5-stack, they know they have that player advantage, and now it seems like they are finally, you know, for lack of better words, making it the most effective. They know they have the advantage, and now it's up to Reynolds to try and stop them.
How do you stop that tidal wave of momentum, especially with an agent down? I mean, we've seen them take 12 rounds already, and this is a very attackers-heavy composition. This is where they should exceed, but can they pull it off? Snowbangle is going to play away from the team here. And instead it tiles, maybe try to get this first pick as they scout it over to tree. But Certified S'mores on that other side has the dark cover ready to deploy. And they're gonna push it right onto the top of tiles for what might be a one-way, but yeah, Snowbangle, they've got vision for days.
Well, here we are, officially underway in overtime. Snowbang are going to be peeking mid, but Luck's not going to give them enough. A little bit of chip damage onto the shoulder, but oh my goodness, they get hit with the decay, and that is on target. They're able to recover nicely. Going to have to mad dash to get out of the way. They drop the door in mid, and that's where the push is going to go. Meanwhile, they are still waiting for a rotation from the rest of the players.
Watch out!
Reynolds in pizza as they try and hold on. This is not a good place to be for Reynolds. Thanks to the elimination feed, Snowbank able to find another.
Last player standing.
Get out of my way.
And another, and now only Luck remains.
Oh, Luck, how do you pull this off? Maybe
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
It can't connect, and they've got to reload on this.
30
Phantom.
seconds
Suddenly,
left.
This is winnable now for Luck, but guess who has the spike? And guess who knows the clearest path to put that spike down? It's Snowbangle all the way. Marathon run.
That's really interesting because
That spike, Wings.
10 seconds left.
I mean, if you're making that comeback here, I mean, Neon is going to be the one to get to site quickly, but they use the wingman so that way they can try and cut off Neon.
Thanks,
mid.
Wings.
They see them there going for the big flank now. Again, that was very smart to use wingman for that spike because they were not anticipating that Lunar would be waiting in garden, and now they're there's the sneaky flank, and there goes the final giving Reynolds in the lead, putting their team on
Switching sides. Match
Is there
point.
any better Gecko celebration than to thrash yourself? That was pretty epic, Looter Agent. Well played
Sorry.
on the
I didn't
wingman.
even know
joke.
to do that.
Yeah, because in OT, the all points reset anyway, so yeah.
No, I just didn't know
Oh,
you could self-fire.
can detain yourself and your teammates, so you gotta be very, very careful with the thrash.
Oh no.
Yeah, it can be a cause for controversy, but so can it for Carver as they're down 1. in OT. If they can't make this hit on the B site work, they stick to it. Their run is over. Top 3 will be solidified. The Foothills Conference VESL Spring 2024 semester while up here in Maine, and I don't think anyone was on it, so yeah, unique play, yeah, definitely. And this has drawn a lot of attention, by the way, to B. Reynolds is hounding this site.
Not to mention they got rid of one of their best utilities. I mean, how many times have we seen the Sage Wall come in clutch time and time again? And again, I was waiting for that particular window peek onto B, and you know, when it's time to use it, it was kind of a fumble. And now you can see the full block pushing it over towards tree. All has to back off, which is a good job.
Watch your eyes! My ultimate's not ready.
Rotate back over towards a big 2 eliminations from the top shelf. Is now certified small.
Last player standing.
The last 2 remaining. So finally, they are eliminated. And Reynolds, with the 5v4, managed to come away with the win and punch their ticket to grand.
Long.
Ready.
Story that is
Defenders win.
My little guy did it.
Shouldn't be told, but is anyway. 4 players on the side of RJ Reynolds take the win, not only in quarterfinals, but in semis as well. They've locked in a spot. Those 4 players, and presumably a 5th who just wasn't available today, into the regional final land. Congratulations, RJ Reynolds, on your victory. And that really was a close one there at the end at Soka. I mean, you had Carver, who I think just didn't save enough utility for that final push. They used a neon wall, a cipher cage, and a dark cover to smoke off mid just to get through tree to get into sight. And then because there was no util posted on heaven or tree side, they just got killed before they could even get the spike down. So a little bit of mistakes here and there led to a very, very close matchup, but ultimately Carver, the road ends at the top 4. Very, very close. Our closest match cap of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? It was that same play that we saw on the offensive side from Carver, where, you know, they would 5-stack, move as a unit, force themselves onto site, and they would try and take advantage of the 4v5 deficit. Except for this time around, you know, after running that play in the past couple of rounds in that match, we finally got to see their opposition start to adapt to it and become, you know, kind of used to that type of formation. So then it just became a pitfall, and where they had all 5 players in the same place at the same time, Reynolds just had to come through with a pinch, and that's exactly what they did. And all of a sudden it was like shooting fish in a barrel. So way to observe, adapt, and react on the side of Reynolds to really counter that 5-stack play where normally they would be at a disadvantage. So again, great heads up awareness from Reynolds in order to capitalize and confirm the win.
Just the grand finals remaining here, folks, for the Foothills Conference of VESL Spring 2024 semester. $300 on the line for the winner. It'll be RJ Reynolds, hopefully with 5 players, but likely 4, against West Forsyth, who not only is undefeated going into the finals in terms of matches, but hasn't dropped a single round yet. It's going to be an exclamatory match here to cap off the Foothills Conference playoffs. Don't miss it after this break. Welcome back, everybody. We return with the finals of the Foothills Conference bracket here. The playoffs have been underway here for VESL Spring 2024 semester. We've got just 2 teams remaining from the top 8 that we began with. Why don't we take a look at that bracket that we've been checking out here all along? You can see it at the top bar. West Forsyth has done exactly that. They have taken a scythe and knocked down everyone in their path. 13-0, 13-0. And the 2 seed, they kind of, in a different way, Cap, got their path to the finals.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, you know, they are down a player and they have been today, but they managed to both to pick up 2 big wins in both of their games. And not only that, but just by being able to make it to the grands here in the conference finals, that they punched their ticket to regionals. So again, not too much love lost, and they still stand a chance to win in the grand finals again against West Forsyth. But the way West Forsyth has been playing, I mean, both of their games to lead to this point have been 13-0. I mean, it has been really difficult to not only get a win against West Forsyth, but just to take a round off of them. And not only that, but they're going to have a player advantage. So again, let's see if, you know, this Goliath that is West Forsyth will be defeated by the David that is their opponent. So we'll see as we get ready to head into grands and get our first matchup underway.
Let's get it underway. I know I've split behind me today, guys, but we haven't seen anything as split. We're going to Breeze this time around. Bind to Ascent to Breeze. There you go. You can already see it. J Reynolds on the left-hand side. They have, once again, just 4 agents, and West Forsyth with 5. I'm just honestly excited to see this West Forsyth A team today, Captain Etsoka. We've seen them undefeated go to finals, but haven't even seen them on the broadcast. So we get to witness the magic at hand.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to be really interested to see on the composition that they bring out here, because again, Breeze is, you know, one of those maps that were out of rotation for quite a while. And not only that, but it was also given a rework. So things are a lot different here. And that means, you know, the meta, the compositions are pretty much up in the air. You know, at this point, it's somewhat of a comfort pick overall, because I don't think there really is an established meta on Breeze just yet. Granted that, you know, you do have those mainstay meta characters. For example, I would think Viper is like the tried and true smokes here, but we don't see any Vipers yet. As a matter of fact, you do see Jedin on the side of Forsyth that is hovering over the Harbor pick, which I'm not mad at that at all. I actually do like, I really do like Harbor as well. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what the final selections for this composition is going to be.
Big on Breeze is your ability to utilize walls well. So the high tide, along with the curvy wall that Jedin is going to have to offer for West Forsyth, is going to be incredibly important in terms of just attacking on a site. Speaking of attacking, that's exactly what we'll see out of West Forsyth. They'll start on the attack side. Meanwhile, for J Reynolds, I have my questions, I have my concerns. Braze is a very unique agent to select on Breeze. They're typically great in close quarters and satcheling onto site when there's a lot of, like, I guess smaller entryways to get through. Breeze is wide. Breeze is massive. So we're gonna need to see some very unique plays with those satchels from the Rays for them to be a valuable agent on this site. The other thing is, I talk so much about the walls, Captain Etsoka. We've got nobody with walls. Nobody with smokes on J Reynolds, and that leaves me just a bit more concerned.
Oh yeah, I would be a little bit concerned as well, because again, you do have the Harbor on the side of West Forsyth, and you know they have a lot of walls at their disposal, and not only that, but they have a pretty good ultimate as well. That's not necessarily a wall, so to speak, but it is.
Barrier deployed.
That's what I'm looking for. It's very controlling, to say the least. As you know, you see Deadlock with a rare version of the wall. It doesn't last as long, but it definitely gets the job done. You know, kind of delaying.
Shield going out.
Love the fact that the Cove is down to
Spike planted.
The plant job. The wingman came out but didn't plant the spike, so I wonder if that was a mistake. It doesn't matter if they get that spike down. 3v5, RJ Reynolds as they look to retain sheriff.
Last player
Player
standing.
we usually see on the Phoenix, instead on the Jet this time around, and is the best sharpshooter you have on the side of RJ Reynolds, also the only shooter. That's the last one remaining for the team. They get gunned down, and West Forsyth off
Revealing area.
take the first round.
Stay on their
Yeah,
trail.
that they do, and they took it with some authority as well. But, you know, I do like the introduction to Deadlock here. And again, I think it may be a little bit too spacious for Deadlock, but at the same time, this is the first time I've seen Deadlock on Breeze. So maybe there is some potential in this character here. Again, I did like that entryway wall, but like we were saying earlier, it just doesn't last as long. And granted that it delays a little bit when it comes to trying to take sight. But at the end of the day, these bigger, longer lasting walls like Harbors or Vipers,
Shut them down. Force suppress.
On the site a lot faster. Already, you can see
Flashbang.
the dagger managed to pick up every single player on the side of Reynolds.
Just about everyone. There is a lurking Cypher who almost caught Deadlock on RJ Reynolds, but instead will hold mid and call that out to West Forsyth and say, hey, if we want the A option, it's there. That said, it's just an option. It's not taken. Instead, the assist king is
Sound
already
sensor
seen in the
up.
backside, guns down gamer guy. Lunar agents try to scout out a way through this
Spike
wall,
planted.
but it's seemingly quite difficult. By the way, that wall's very meticulous in the way that it reaches around the half slab.
Last player standing.
With the classic, nothing to do. With the Marshall
Blocking
does
sight.
get one, but down to 30 HP, and again, the final remaining one.
Got it.
With another headshot for and they're slinging the Marshall everywhere. I expect to see more from them on that Marshall cap as Breeze is so wide open.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of good Marshall play today. I don't know what's going on. Something in the water there in North Carolina that apparently makes you a crack shot on the snipers, right? It's gotta be. And you know what? I honestly can't wait to see for myself. You know,
This goes
first thing I'm
here.
gonna do when I go to North Carolina, I'm gonna try the water, and then also right afterward, going to equip the Marshall and see just how well, just to see if the effect is true. You know, I gotta see what's the secret in the sauce there in North Carolina
this is
that
my
makes
spot.
them so good on the Marshall. But with that being said, now heading into round number 3, what could be the bonus round for West Forsyth.
Here. Here.
You're paying attention to the Cypher. That is the way to get a trip down so that anyone can hit it, crouching or jumping.
Blocking sight.
Trying to sneak away with that attack there, level, finding themselves in the crosshairs of their doppelganger. Assist King with the kill on the Stinger, and trudging through into their enemy.
Last player standing.
Stinger in hand.
Spike
Still
planted.
Getting the kill. Oh, okay. Jetted helped him out with that. I was really confused, but the Bulldog does have some range and gets
Flawless.
off the Jet on the KO and on the ground as well. 3 in a row for West Forsyth.
And a big old bonus round with a pretty bow on top. Well done. And again, the assist king here coming through with the Stinger. And, you know, it's so funny because for so long, anybody that has ever seen the cast of Valorant will tell you that I have had a long hatred of the Stinger. But, you know, I really have. I really have. But with the recent changes in recent times, I have grown to like it. I'm not gonna say that I love it, but I have grown to like it. I no longer hate it. So, you know, this shows some growth on my part. But with that being said, you know, the Stinger definitely makes plays happen, and it is good for a budget buy. Meanwhile, Assist King no longer has the Stinger. They're gonna upgrade to a full rifle. They got the Vandal in hand, and honestly, this should be a gimme round. This is a bonus here.
Last player standing.
The guy, though, did have a solid
Spike
rifle
planted.
in hand. Gonna go down either way. And this is what you'll notice in rounds like these that we kind of expected during the semifinals is when you're an agent down, you tend to hold on quicker than you want them to. Suddenly there's a couple kills and you're already down 5-2. How do you come back from that, right? It's nearly impossible. And so we'll see that although it wasn't a well-resisted round for RJ Reynolds, they do have the buys. They do have the buys here for the Vandals, for the full shields, really whatever they want. Lunar Agent, if you really wanted an Odin, you could do that too. But the adaptations from West Forsyth have been fantastic. As soon as they saw the deadlock on A, they moved over to B. Now the deadlock has rotated to B, and West Forsyth are looking at A. It seems that RJ Reynolds cannot get a hand at all onto West Forsyth as they take down that.
And also the dagger as well, the suppression is going to be gone from the KO. They're going to have to wait for it to recharge. Didn't hit anybody because they were here. To get the spike down.
Bloody
And here we go. Now in the host plant, 4-3 in the favor of West Forsyth.
Last player standing.
Sight here, and Tabor is getting the kills, racking up as well. Lunar Agent knows they're in that hallway, so wants to get that kill before worrying about anyone else. So the timing is still snap back for the kill. That said, the trade occurs. Jedin taking care of a lot of these late round kills, closing
What do you
rounds,
say,
ensuring
bro?
the win.
Ready to
West
stretch
Forsyth.
your wings?
And yeah, that was indeed a pretty one-handed win there. But I got to say, the trades were being made pretty significantly. Lunar Agent again was able to step up and find a couple. But at the end of the day, you know, the player advantages cannot be denied. And now West Forsyth not only has the advantage of the economy. I mean, you got one player there with actually you got 3 players with over 7,000 credits. That is insane. That is enough to retire on. But they also have 3 ultimates at the ready as well.
Yeah, they could cash that in for money and more, but they'll suffice for weaponry on the battlefield of Breeze. And a little
Scanning ahead.
as well. Jack.
There they are.
2 initiators that make for a great combo on the site, but they've sent the wingman in alone. Very dangerous thing to do.
Spike planted.
In there as well. Scout it out to make sure.
Last player standing.
Oh, Gamer Guy had no idea that his system was in that site. Sneaky position to take, and it did away with Reynolds.
You know, for someone named Assist King, they are getting quite a number of eliminations. you know, I mean, they got 9 eliminations and only 1 assist. Are they really the Assist King, Pyro?
Guess not. Okay, 2 assists though, which is tied for top of the team.
Oh, yes,
Listening.
it's 2 assists. My bad. I was looking at the D's instead of the A's. You're right.
Sound sensor
That.
up.
I've got an eye for those stats. I play Valorant enough that I know when I'm 0 and 12 instead of 0 and 0 assists or 0 deaths and 12 assists, you know?
I'm out. Dizzy's up.
Second, once again, it is going to be this B push. They're going to throw out the little wingman that could. And
Spike sticky. Thanks, little man.
And that whatsoever. Speaking of Assist King going right into the face of the opposition. Big tidal wave there coming from Harbor in order to stop. Look at this KO.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
1 enemy remaining.
Right into the barrel of this jet. My goodness, now only remains for the side of Reynolds.
Honestly, I'm impressed. Okay, yeah, they could use the steps here. Nice. Okay, nice flotation work from I think they heard the steps though, so it's one, maybe 2 on this play. Tabor still getting the kill. Yeah, let's get a second KO on the Bucky kill. There's very few places on a wide open map like Breezy you can make a shotgun like that work. If you're on defense, you can sneak through B on that elbow side. And apparently, you can also go through tunnel with the Bucky and get that kill. So good for Snowbangle. Yet out of Snowbangle, Cap, I want to see more. This is the first time we're seeing them off the duelist role on the initiator. And just hasn't really come alive yet.
And again, you know, it's just kind of difficult, especially when you're changing up roles like that, going into not to say that the KO is not viable. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the job of the initiator to make way for groups, to make way for everyone else to continue to finish and get those really hard to do when you're at a disadvantage. And again, I hate to keep harping back to it, but it really is a monumental one in the game of Valorant. Like, games have been decided by having one other player, and it has come down to just having that one extra player. So again, it really is a big advantage for West Forsyth.
Suppressive.
Yeah, it's not
Spike
right.
planted.
It's always such a steep advantage.
Last player
Play
standing.
together, play for trade. This time around, a lot more trades for Reynolds. They were a bit more spaced out, 1 through 4. The other 2 rounds
They want to
around
dance?
the east side as that rotate
I'll
occurred.
leave.
I mean, that's the easiest way to put it right now. on the side of our J Reynolds, if you want to build this story of, hey, this is still possible, they've got some ultimates and some explosive ones at that. Normally for a Sentinel, it's all about recon, like with that neural theft on the Cypher, but on the Deadlock, it's good for a kill if you're do a good enough job at grabbing information, as well as the raised showstopper. So let's see if
I suggest you move.
Deployed.
What's not going to help them out is that a big right there. That is going to definitely clear that.
Spike planted.
Now that they are going to be trading out as the KO dagger does come out from Bangle, and I don't think they're able to get it. Unfortunate is now you can see the paint shells are coming out from Raze. Gamer Guy now trying to look over the corner of the pyramid to find one, avoiding the shock dart. And the spike now ticking against Jack trying to work from behind the pyramid, looking to find one big blind.
One enemy remaining.
Unfortunately, is now gone with KO being eliminated. Still possibly can be picked up for Rez, but this 1v1. I don't think it's going to allow that, and
one enemy remaining.
And time expires for the Harbor, but unfortunately, the time on the spike has also expired, and that's still going to be a win for West Forsyth.
Yeah, then Jaden was playing a little ring around the rosy. He said, okay, you want to go to the left of this pyramid? I'll go to the right. And okay, I can hear your footsteps in trampling around in the water like you're a kid doing puddles in the street. This is all too easy for me. And it was enough calamity for West Forsyth to hold their ground and hold the win. That being said, though, Cap, that's probably the closest that RJ Reynolds has come to winning a round. So maybe some momentum working in their favor, at least for getting the frags.
Oh, absolutely. There would be a lot of momentum if they had something to buy forward, but unfortunately, once again, they're going to have to reach to the bottom of the bargain bin. I think I did see at least one hero buy in the form of a Phantom or a Vandal, and I don't know like there was a lot. For the most part, I saw some Stingers and some Buckies.
I know exactly where they are.
Spike planted.
Now, West Forsyth just raining in towards that A site, and they're not only are they able to take the site, but they're able to find the spike as well very, very quickly as a Lunar Agent now finds themselves between a doorway and a
last player standing.
Oh, couldn't have said it better myself.
Flawless.
So what I emphasize the fact that you said they did it very, very quickly. Shout out Assist King. The way that they're able to utilize Jet's utility, especially on the dash and the updraft combo, to get to these sneaky points before Reynolds even realized it. I mean, that time, Assist King was on top of the staircase and took down who's supposed to be the top fragger, and still is, of Reynolds, but just hasn't made as much of an impact as we're used to seeing by taking them off guard. Other times on the entry to B site, Assist King is there in the back corner near where Gamer Guy is right now before they even realize it. It's the action of the duelist to create space, and it's being done so well by Assist King.
And you know what, again, just to further on, you know, we were talking about as the initiator here. It's really hard to do when you don't have smokes. You know, you gotta keep in mind, you know, on the side of Reynolds, they don't know smoke.
Spike planted.
Give me those
entryways in towards that B site. Now you can see
last player standing.
Trying to make do with the blade enough because there was too much area that had been covered by West Forsyth and their controller that is hard.
Last round before the switch.
Reynolds, you know, not having any controls on such a big map in order to narrow down a lot of these entries, it's just almost like a shooting frenzy. They don't have any cover.
Here.
It is. It is on this big map. Let's take a big perspective for a moment to mention a couple facts about this tournament matchup. This is the finals of our Foothills playoff bracket here. It's a best of 3. So this is the first map, as you see there at the top. But it's also the undefeated streak of West Forsyth's A team continue. In the quarter of the semifinals, they didn't drop a single round. Wins. Undefeated. They do get the kill there.
Blocking sight. Blocking sight.
That's Snowbangle. Foul. Gamer Guy does see one. They get the kill in time.
Last player standing.
The kill in
Get out of my way.
Who run?
Spike planted.
How did that get this kill? They're good for one, Cap.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Hold them to their grave! Reeling them in!
With all your steps out like that. Unfortunate.
You want more? Here's more!
Switching sides.
But they've done
Match
this.
point.
So good. They've done this. They've set themselves up for the greatest comeback of Valorant history.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if they manage to pull this off, then you know what? I mean, I just don't know. This is a miracle if they manage to pull it off. I mean, they set themselves up for it, yeah, sure. But, you know, also at the same time, you know, just because I bought a lottery ticket doesn't mean I set myself up to win. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's tough. I mean, there's really no way to sugarcoat it. You know, I really wish I could. But, you know, as one of the main antagonists in esports, West Forsyth, just once again making the most out of this 5v4 advantage and literally showing no mercy.
No mercy here. No mercy rolling. Valorant either, which but at any point maybe this would be it. Maybe not. Pulls out the sheriff. That's gonna be their road to success here. Maybe Lunar Agent can get the ghost kill, not quite. Still on the side of the
Spike down B.
More to take down, but wall banged away. Lunar Agent. There it is, but can they eliminate the Cypher on this site? That will be the ultimate test.
Camera taken out.
One enemy remaining. Spike down B.
Tabor still with the classic in hand. Spike not down yet. Oh, night. Through tunnel gets a frag. That's our second of the round. Need 2 more.
Defenders win.
J Reynolds, they go down on Breeze map 1 secure for West Forsyth A, and Captain Ahsoka. The undefeated streak continues.
Yeah, that it does. At least here in the postseason. I mean, as far as the regular season is concerned, I want to say there was at least one round that had been taken off of West Forsyth. I could be mistaken, but you know, here we are in the postseason. They're undefeated. They're making their way through the bracket without dropping a single round. That is absolutely insane. And right now, if I'm participating in VESL in any of these other regions, and I have off time right now, I would be in this lobby here in the Foothills region and watching West Forsyth, seeing how they play, taking notes on the players, what they do, how they do it, where the talent is, and just getting ready for regionals. Especially if I've already punched my ticket, you're going to want to watch this team, because I guarantee, well, I mean, we already know they're going to regionals. I mean, they made it this far, but with that being said, you want to keep your eye on them further still, because I think this team is going to make a solid run once they do arrive at regionals.
I can't wait to bear witness to what they can do at the regional LAN. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get an update on that bracket. Let's see exactly where we are right now. Of course, it would be the ultimate shakedown from J Reynolds. They're an agent down. It just went down 0-13. But we can't see the future. We don't know what will come. So J Reynolds still with 2 maps in their future if they can scavenge this next map away. And this next map is Split, folks. I finally get Split. There we go. I was waiting for the return of it. We haven't gotten it at all, I don't think, in this qualifiers at Soka. So it's my pleasure to get it underway. Map number 2 between West Forsyth A's team and their opposition of J Reynolds. Can they find a way back?
I mean, they definitely can, but you know, once again, you know, my main focus is Jedin on the smokes. Like, don't get me wrong, Assist King definitely were Jet. I mean, they were the top frag for sure. But I really got to say, I love the way that Jedin was playing on the smokes there with Harbor on that previous matchup. And honestly, going on to Split, I actually like Harbor on this map, for the record. Again, being able to wall off both Heaven sites on A and B, I think is phenomenal. So I really do like to see Harbor, but seeing such a talented smoke player on the Harbor, now switching over to Clove, I'm really interested on how this is going to play out, because now I'm going to start taking notes on how to play Clove. I'm really interested to see on how Clove, who is somewhat of a pseudo duelist, again, very duelist-like qualities, now also being stacked with Assist King on Jet, and now Applejack on Yoru. And then, of course, Yoru, they are a namesake here on Split. I feel like when you play Split, you have to go with Yoru.
You do, but Cap, as interesting as the composition is for West Forsyth, if we take a look at the other side, we have a full duelist composition for RJ Reynolds. You know what, Cap? You might as well at this point. I hate to say it like that, but after going down in an 0-13 to a team that is quite clearly the best in your conference, try something new. Go crazy. There's even a story of the Game Changers, the women's scene for Valorant, where a team kind of trolled and accidentally chose like a full duelist comp and then decimated their opponents. Like, it can work, and you might as well try something new here.
No, I completely agree. But if it were me, I would sub out somebody for Reyna. I don't know why, but if I had to pick my top 4 duelists, like if I had to pick my top 4 duelists, and don't get me wrong, this is a hard selection to make, but I just feel like Reyna on split, you know, it can make some pretty monumental plays. And honestly, I wouldn't know who to sub out here because I like all of them. If I had, that's too close of a call to make, to be honest. I can't single out a single one of these duelists. No, not Yoru. And honestly, if I had to pick, it'd probably be Phoenix. Just because if we are gonna go and full dive onto the duelist, then what do we need a pseudo duelist for?
Time to jump.
Yeah, no, I can't help but to agree, but here we go, folks. No matter what, we've got a very interesting match ahead of us, so let's dive in. This 4-agent duelist composition of RJ Reynolds. They're immediately on the B side, and though they attack well,
one enemy remaining.
On their back, they did get one there.
Careful now.
Gamer guy beating the glow of Jedden, who's off the harbor and onto the flow. We talked about going to be very fun to watch this new agent as well. Let's get that kill. So about how we expected this to start, Cap, but at least from RJ Reynolds, I like that they're taking the fight to West Forsyth. If you just huddled into sight and waited for the play to come to you, there's no way it's going your way.
Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't see more shorties to start things out there, especially when you have characters like Raze and Neon who just full dive, right? And that's when we see a lot of shorties. As a matter of fact, the Raze judge it's got to be one of the most popular, I think. At least one of the most niche. I mean, when it does come out, you know, it deals so much damage. I'm surprised we didn't see more of it. But with that being said, Jedden already
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Dragon Force rush onto site and get an elimination as the rest of the dominoes will fall, and that will be another round win for West Forsyth.
As a former addict of Guitar Hero, I just want to give you a nod there. Love the reference. But we will see an absolute powwow in round number 2. West Forsyth bringing out all the submachine guns.
I'm out of here.
I think they clicked S or back or laid off the W key a single.
Gotta go.
They just said, yeah, we're gonna run in sight. We're gonna kill everyone.
Go.
And we're gonna get the round to win. This is a speed run.
Dark good. Okay. Gotta go.
We'll see just how speedy they can be. I mean, Snowbangle not wasting any time, and this is what I was waiting.
Careful now.
That was a great one.
Last player standing.
And honestly, so now it's just going to lead to another flawless victory from West Forsyth. They're hunting in a pack now. Like they're I feel like they're not separating. They're just going. They're holding the W key and just shoot.
By the way, still Spectres. Like they every single person here could buy a rifle, but still Spectres. And it may kind of sound insane, right? It may be even BM, but on split, low key, it does work, especially with their pushes that are formulating through heaven into B. I mean, Gap, you know what I'm talking about.
Still inside.
100%. I mean, if you're playing Rush, which they definitely are, they're going full dive onto site, going full dive into mid.
One enemy remaining.
You know, a rifle. I mean, if anything, I would say the Phantom, because again, the Phantom does have a higher fire rate, and so the Phantom, I think,
cutting through.
Spike planted.
Like the Spectre is a BM pick, especially the Spectre can make plays happen clearly as they continue to do so here for West Forsyth. So I wouldn't even necessarily say this is in the BM category. I just think they know that they can make it work with the Spectre. And now, look, now that they have enough money to retire on, now you can see they're bringing out the Phantoms, and they were even hovering the Odin for them.
Yeah, okay, but we're seeing some fun strats on the
Time
other
to
side.
jump.
Well, let's run it. Let's run it. Honestly, this is looking more like escalation than a ranked game, but I like it anyway. It's gonna get put into the matchup.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
Back soon. Back soon.
Against rifles and judges. All right,
Yep, that they do. And once again, it's the Phantom. Again, it's that little bit of a higher rate of fire that, you know, can come in clutch when you're, I guess, in a more of a closer to mid-range than, say, the Vandal. Because, again, with the Vandal, it is a slower rate of fire. There is that higher expectancy to aim for chest and head, where, you know, with the Phantom, you know, you can still hit all in the chest, not hit head at all, and still find some pretty good lanes just because of that extra rate of fire. So, you know, I gotta ask you, also, I know you're a Vandal guy, but could you, do you see yourself ever using
You blink. Last player standing.
I think it's, honestly, in both cases, it's the best.
Spike planted.
The short range attacks.
Grenade!
With you spitting about taking up,
Engineer killed.
I am
Satchel out.
just stepping.
That is the first time I heard that disgusting phrase. I have never heard of such a thing.
That's a joke.
But my love it. And it is gross, but in all the right way. I smell what you're stepping on. Oh no.
Well, it feels like Reynolds are stepping in quicksand and they can't get out because it's just gotten from bad to worse here. I'll give them this though, Cap. They've got all their ults, you know? Maybe there's a way out of this run.
Well, tell you what, I can definitely smell what someone has been saying. Because, you know, when they decide to go up against this Forsyth in a 4v5, I can tell you, you step on a lot of it.
There's a lot of it in here. There's a lot of footsteps there through me. Get a little chaotic up in
There.
here.
Good done. One enemy remaining.
Flawless. Eliminated. Even Looter Agent who looks at the alarm bot.
Cutting through.
Do they really do this, Cap? Because they're past halfway to 13 points. West Forsyth, if they win the next 6 rounds, do something I've never seen before in a playoff bracket, which is completely flawless on the win.
I mean, if anything, I think West Forsyth is sending out a message that they are going to be the #1 team. We have interviewed a lot of these teams before in the past, and, you know, we get to talk to a lot of these players, and, you know, a lot of it comes down to in the post-interview.
Taking it this way. I'm out of here.
Last player standing.
Team, even if they have a player down, they are still going to be
Time to
the
jump.
squad. And
One enemy remaining.
blame West Forsyth as high intense as this one is. I mean, that one came down to only 1 player left, and then they still managed to secure the win 8-0. They don't plan on giving up any rounds here.
No, they certainly don't. But it's fun because sometimes it comes really, really close. Like, Lunar Agent, they not only had a 1v2 turned into a 1v1, they also had their ult. And I was like, this is the time you gotta use it just to take a round, but I guess you save it for another rainy day. Not too many rainy days.
Cutting
Maybe
through.
4 rounds left in this first half. TP's already on.
You should run.
Privacy on walls, but they
Spike down B.
and controversy there on the other side. Gamer guy, how about that 1 kill? So alone to take out. And
Last player
yeah,
standing.
that's about how that goes. Lunar Agent last remaining now. And there would have to be some serious Yoru trickery to pull this one off.
Well, if anyone is going to pull off some type of trickery, it would be Yoru, right? You know, the one with the flashes and the teleportations, and not to mention the dimensional rift. Because they do just so much. Let's see if they will be able to do much, and unfortunately they won't, because once again, Jen #1 is able to find the elimination and the win.
Pick something nice to kill them with. It's the least we can do.
And I just want to say, thank you so much assist king for putting that spike down. I would say around 40 to 45 times during that round. Just faked the plant about 40 times there. That was music to everyone's ears. 9 rounds, 1 in a row here. West Forsyth. What's it gonna be? Oh, and speaking of which, Jedin has not died yet either.
Suppressing.
There's another.
Please suppress.
Oh, that's what Jacko. No, have mercy. Please, have mercy.
No. I'll answer that for you. No.
Last player standing.
There is no mercy.
Oh god, you know what? If I
And they got the
ever
ace,
imagine
by the
myself
way.
ranking up in this game, I just think of meeting up against Applejack and ranking like that. You know, it's Applejack is infinite.
Oh god, there's nothing I love more in chat during ranked than this is my rank up now. Just never say it. Never say it because I can guarantee you're gonna lose. Yeah, you're gonna lose. I've literally never seen a single person that was like, "Oh, this is my rank up game."
Try not to
in
die.
the game. Just don't say it. Keep it to yourself. And that is a word to the wise. By the way, just keep it to yourself.
We're throwing out all the tips and tricks here. The Valorant cast. Applejack maybe have the best trick there. Ended up right in the face of the gun. And okay, let's bend this top round.
Spike down B. Last player standing.
Even holding a choke point with the judge can
Last round in the half.
Last round to use our creds and abilities. Don't waste firepower.
Yeah, that they are. And I gotta say, you know, if you are gonna break out the judge, you might as well have a little fun. You know, that's the whole point. You gotta have a little fun with the judge. And now, I mean, West Forsyth looking like they're gonna be having lots of fun as they are 1 away from a perfect half.
1 away from a perfect half. 2 away from a perfect tournament. This is history in the making here for West Forsyth's A team.
Dropping
This
smoke.
is rather interesting. Applejack is disconnected. So I do wonder if we have a break at some point here, or there's a call for a pause. But yeah, Applejack's just kind of looking at the wall over there,
Careful now.
searching for answers elsewhere. Well, West Forsyth, you've got the reinforcement.
Engineers
AFK
down.
player, maybe not.
Last player
Fine.
standing.
Oh, okay, but Assist King trades out and Snowbangled last remaining. It's really interesting if they look to the right side, they'll find an AFK opponent, but nope, they're just gonna stay hidden here. Assist King faking that spike about a dozen times a second here. So with your left, with your left. Jedin stays undefeated. West Forsyth stay undefeated, and they're 1
Switching sides.
away from it all.
Match point.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, you could say that Applejack was AFK, but honestly, I think they were just pretending to be a clone and they were really in character.
Well, they continue to be in character as we take
There's
a
some
look
good
at the
method acting.
screen here. As I believe we have gotten that pause. So,
Do
This-
they need it though? Like, I
Yeah,
would just
well-
play on if it were up to me.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I'm sorry.
here's
Are
the
you at a
thing.
disadvantage now that you lost Applejack? Like, come on.
But
Just
at the same time, West Forsyth's A team can truly make history with a win here. And so,
Is it history? Come on, it's asterisk history. I mean, you're going up against a 4v5. Again, you know, you're the more of the optimist. I'm cynical. Like, you're the hero, I'm the villain.
We make
but
a
at the
good
same
team.
time, like, hang on, timeout, flag on the play. One of our players are disconnected. Really? Really? In a 4v5, you're taking the timeout because you don't have a play. All right, bro.
That's what makes us a great team, Cap, is we can see it from all angles here. I just love the idea of a truly undefeated playoff bracket, you know? Hate me for it.
Asterisk.
My ultimate's ready.
Throw it wherever you
Found
want.
the bomb grenade out.
Have no front remaining. West Forsyth takes 1 more round.
Power's out.
Maybe 2. No, the classic doesn't work.
Last player standing.
Can't use
Down
that.
and they'll be the last remaining. The last one to take away from what West Forsyth has done. The truly undefeated playoff run to win the Foothills Conference, to not lose
Defenders win.
West Forsyth's A team is the team to beat.
I mean, they definitely are. I mean, no matter what the situation is, you know, 5v5, 5v4, they clearly had deserved their spot. I mean, they went through the entire bracket undefeated without dropping a single round. Clearly, they deserve to go the full distance. Clearly, they deserve the win. But at the end of the day, you know, it just can't be denied. They're going to be going to regionals, and not to mention along with their respective opponents as well for being able to place in second. So again, both teams, it's a win-win. I mean, yes, I mean, West Forsyth, they get the $300 extra bucks, you know? So, I mean, there is that, but at the same time, you know, if you're Reynolds, you can't be upset either because you were playing a player down the entire tournament and you still get to go to LAN. So, you know, no love lost. If I was on Reynolds, I'd be okay with that. That's a good performance if you ask me.
That really is, yeah. I can't tell which performance is more impressive. The fact that West Forsyth didn't drop a round or that J Reynolds got to the championships with just 4 players. Like, I agree. That is the good way to look at it. I am impressed by both teams and wish both teams well as they move on to those regional lands. Folks, after that match, that's all we have prepared for you here for the Foothills Conference. Congratulations again to West Forsyth's A team and J Reynolds. Those are your 2 squads to go to regional finals, and as well to West Forsyth's A team for winning the $300 prize. I guess that's $60 split up between each player, which if I'm that high school player, I'm probably going to buy a new game with that $60.
Yeah, I could get a game. That's what I was thinking.
So, Cap, anything to say here as we've covered Foothills? We've covered a lot of conferences for Valorant over the past few weeks here, and we've had ups and downs with all the teams, but final thoughts on the tournaments here.
I mean, we have had a lot of matches and conferences here for Valorant, Smash, Rocket League. Honestly, my final thoughts is just big thanks and shout out to VESL, everybody behind the scenes. Big shout out to our wonderful producer, Brian. Big shout out to Reed Sloth. Big shout out to Risk. Everybody involved here at VESL just for making this happen, because not only are we putting on this tremendous Valorant tournament, but again, there's Rocket League, there's Smash. And just to have one of these titles is monumental enough in high school esports, but for a single organization to come through and bring 3 big titles to their home state and put on such a high just a high quality performance, and to have such big prize pools attached to it, like it takes a lot of work, and you really just have to appreciate all the work that's being done behind the scenes here at VESL. And you know, I'm just truly grateful to be a part of it.
Sometimes talent needs the stage to be admired, and high school esports communities like this thrive all across the nation. VESL just does it best. So shout out to them. I'm gonna just amplify and echo exactly what you said, Captain Ahsoka, and start to see us away. Thank you all for being here for the Foothills Conference playoffs matches of Spring 2024 Valorant of VESL. It's been our pleasure here, from the producer Brian to the casters here, myself, Pyro J, and Captain Ahsoka. Tune in for more live streams. We've got Smash Brothers and Rocket League as the week proceeds here on Thursday and Friday, respectively, for those playoffs. And don't forget, the regional LAN happens on May 10th to 12th. That's where those 2 teams are going. Cap's popping his head. We're ready to jam out and get out of here. Folks, thanks so much for joining. We'll see you next time.